I.S.U.P.K 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment in a hotel room. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events, hosted by the I.S.U.P.K and Commanding General Yohanna. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the I.S.U.P.K is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which would lead to the scripture breakdown class with General Mahanna. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General Yohanna has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General Yohanna on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that would destroy him and will destroy him. Real soon. Read.
That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer.
You hear that? They was of good cheer. Came along with the Lord as one. And became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord gonna put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General Yohanna has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.
take a second, we reflecting with the light, but this the life, I fucking love it. Wouldn't trade it to be white, now that's alright. I got the right at birth, the devil's redefining worth.
Someday you'll pay the price.
No, I don't break a fold, I need and bake the dough, then recreate the flow. They think they making dough, what they forsake is so essential. Over lentils, get your issue, guess who's on this instrumental with you? A damn if we was family, view one red and call it spam. I'm not a fan of Antichrist, they slayed the man, I swayed the Tim. Like here I am, the son of Sam is taking shots at David Berkowitz. Pussy.
Someday you'll pay the price.
A different discipline existed in this New York state of mind. Say since now, no, not the actor, but the year we zephyr. Not one thing in mind to grind until this gavel turns his words to mirth from Babel. Since 69, I follow protocol. This kingdom built on God's bones, so I can't love Esau, and I can't fuck with y'all. I ain't gotta say it twice, you vouching for the enemy, but
Someday you'll pay the price.
look, my father ain't have a father cause of dope. I'm anti-politics, cause Christ died from a vote. How the richest nation locked the homeless up for being cold. How ironic they relating smoking weed to getting stoned. You trim your ways to seek they love. I'ma bring this sword back wet with a vesta dipped in blood. Niggas giving up when they don't even give enough. Going nowhere fast, niggas always in a rush. I give them love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating, watch they brothers starve. No way I can serve another God. I give my love cause my brother's lost. Christians eating, watch they brothers starve. I can't serve another God. Cold-blooded.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment, and a hotel. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking. The moment they are called, their chance of solving a murder is cut in half if they don't get a lead within the first 48 hours.
I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. You will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my daughters safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Sitting in that room, hear the interrogator's voice. They asking why I do it. I tell them I had no choice. Couldn't take a threat or a risk to my family, so throw the book at me. I take them charges happily. Ain't no need for no polygraphs or forensics. I put that fucker in a body bag, I'll admit it. Fuck a sentence or the jury that will convict me. They don't understand, it's my family, they represent me. So for them, I risk my freedom, roll the dice. I ain't got much more for you crackers, go ahead and give me life. You don't know what it's like for the people that you love. They ain't there to get salutes, they ain't there to give you hugs. The same that done pulled me from the dirt and from the mud, it's gone because of who? Y'all rather shed your blood. My brother's kids like my other kids. If you touch them, fuck around, get another bid, plus 10. Put me in the Supermax, I get super jacked, working out every day, canteen super stack, cool with that. Long as it mean my daughter's safe, my brother's winning, that's a chance I take. Still my fate. I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. I got wives that done gave they all to stand beside me. Kids that can't see me fall, look at me proudly. Respected by men with honor up on their names. You harm one of them, I promise that you'll see pain. I'm one West train, made an oath to uphold it. Stood with my back against the wall, never folded. Grew up in the city where the love ain't brotherly. I ain't had too many friends, I ain't need the company. I'm my father's son, so I'm cool, just don't fuck with me. I say that you my homie, you're my brother, then you stuck with me. Never turn my back on mine, it's to the dirt. You cross them across that line, I end you first. But only make it worse, is loyalty hard to find. Never think cause you out of sight, you out of mind. And I don't mind dying now, cause reincarnation got me coming back. Same scars in my heart aching. Be parlaying with killers from all places. Every last one of them for me a broad day shit. So what you think, I won't do it for them? Once they let me out the cell, shit, I do it again. It's for the family. I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my people safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events, hosted by the I.S.U.P.K and Commanding General Yohanna. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the I.S.U.P.K is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which will lead to the scripture breakdown class with General GEN.YAHANNA. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General Yohanna has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General Yohanna on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that would destroy him and will destroy him. Real soon. Read.
That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might
You hear that? They was of good cheer, came along with the Lord as one, and became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord gonna put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General Yohanna has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.
Baby, no listen to no fake news, them can't. Could do all it out and them never fake news. Notice I just be a bad bitch, I get forward from with you. But the one you have feel good girl them lazy. She never did a features, I rate it. Never did a features, half naked. Me never did a piggy R things half way, that's why me give her ratings. She never did a features, half naked. Never did a features, R-rated. Me never did a piggy RB things halfway, that's why me give her ratings. I know every girl I wife material. I know every girl forget the juice in my seed bag. I know every girl me trust to cook my food, nor boil my tea, not even put the milk in the cereal. Me like a catty when me dival. When we wash for cook for clean and no fuss. When she hear me get a new girl, I know that me mean when me say me fight me demons. Multiple wife legally, no illegal. Yeah, straight, me go crazy. I know every catty can be my first lady. I know every press plus body done pay for plus Tatiana no fit in and no mercy when me say oh luxury dolly for nurse baby. A trouble when luxury dolly turn old lady. So big up every girl when don't lazy. Your body big but why your mommy donate it. I rate it. Never did a fi dress half naked. Me never did a fi give her be things halfway. That's why me give her rate.
Where we going? Where we going? How bad we is with the feedback?
It's not us. Mute your mic.
Understand that. Hold up. Testing one. Y'all could hear?
Come.
Sir.
Okay, Most High in Christ. Okay, I don't know. Now, Zach, what about you? You can unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Okay, no sweat. Okay, let me see. Ash, you're unmute your mic. Let me hear something.
1 2 1 2.
Okay, that second computer you have, Ash. Could you mute the microphone on it?
You can hear?
Is it muted now?
Yeah, it's muted. It's muted, and the camera's off.
Okay. It shouldn't be that bad of a rebuild for some reason.
Do they have the are they speaking with the speaker on too? They may want to lower the speaker.
It could be that. It could be the speaker going back into the mic. It might be too loud.
Yeah.
It's too close.
Yeah, turn your
How about that? How about that? Is that good?
It still have a little echo still. You know what I mean? It still have an echo. Or you know what you could do, Ash? You could change everything over to that other computer. You understand what I'm saying? You could Ash, you hear me?
Yeah, come.
You could try plugging that webcam into the other computer and just run it from that second computer you have.
Okay, come.
Just plug the webcam over, and then it should come across on the other stream. How you'll drop out. In the meantime, just let me know once you're ready. So, like, you bear with them 1 second, all right? All right, okay, so what's going on? How everybody feeling?
Good.
Excellent. Y'all look like y'all give Esau hell today. Y'all give Esau and the heathens hell.
Excellent.
La Yasha Allah.
La Yasha Allah.
I take a drink for some of them today. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who you have down there with you? You have it looking like a young General Cabal on your right and a young Yagarwap on your left. I shit you not.
Hey, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, brother.
Say again?
This is Precinct Officer 500 Wamyala, sir.
A Wamyala? He look like General Cuba. The other brother is Yagarwap, dead center.
Most High in Christ. Yeah, this is Louisiana. This is Louisiana school. You know what I'm saying? I.S.U.P.K. Louisiana. We go down here in Louisiana.
Most High in Christ, man. Listen, y'all make sure and go out and tell them devils stop making sperm cereal for them kids, man.
Oh man, you know we on them. You know we on them. We on them. Get in the Mardi Gras.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, make sure they know what they have to stop doing, man.
Man, right.
You know what I mean? Who you have rocking with you then?
Hey, shalom, sir. We just coming from camp right now. I got Officer Tabawan, he in the back. I got Officer Itazam right here.
Oh shit, the free nigga. Let me see the free nigga.
It's the free nigga right
here. Where Bangad? What's going on, Bangad?
He back here and shit, sir.
What's up, man? You should jump down.
He saluted you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you stomped it out today down there on the stars?
Oh yeah, kind sir. So we had some fake Israelite come up, stood by us, and he was, that's right. He was agreeing with us and shit. He was like, that's right. That's funny as hell.
All of a sudden, he know where the truth is at. You know, Putin striking fear into more than just the Ukrainians. You know what I mean? What look like, Ash? I'm seeing you, Ash. You
Come.
Okay, Mosai, I think you're good to go now, though.
Yeah, come, sir.
Okay, Mosai and Christ. That'll work. So what we dealing with? What you want to deal with first, Akim? I know we have a good few stories. You know what I mean? You know, Ukraine is definitely the end all and be all of everything.
Yeah.
Well, what you all feeling?
That's the locker cabinet. Ukraine taking everything up right now.
I think so. I think
the finances, the real estate, they're going in everything.
Ukraine in the metaverse right now.
Hey, Salaki, sir. So I don't know if y'all heard about Kyle Rittenhouse wanting to sue Whoopi Goldberg.
What?
Yeah. I can have the brother read the article for you, and if you want to go.
If you don't mind, in the meantime.
Here you go.
Kyle Rittenhouse reveals plans to sue Whoopi Goldberg over murderer label. Kyle Rittenhouse is gearing up to sue Whoopi Goldberg in addition to a whole list of other celebrities and politicians over comments they made regarding him being a murderer before he was ultimately found not guilty of the charges and cleared of all wrongdoing. According to the 19-year-old's appearance on Monday's episode of Tucker Carlson Tonight, Rittenhouse revealed his plans to sue Goldberg and a slew of others when he told the Fox News host, "We're going to be holding them accountable, Tucker. I want to hold them accountable for what they did to me because I don't want to see anybody have to go through what I did," Rittenhouse continued, before revealing he allegedly has a list of names made up of famous celebrities, politicians, and even athletes who falsely accused him. Besides Goldberg, the teenager then named Cenk Uygur, the founder of the left-wing news and commentary program, The Young Turks, as another person he plans on suing for reportedly lying about him in the past. We're going to hold everybody.
Rittenhouse think he's Santa Claus. He making a list and checking it twice.
Twice, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that sound like the same thing Polite say he was gonna do. You remember? Anybody who talked bad about him and this and that when they caught him with that little girl. Remember he said he got lawyers and this and that, and he gonna sue whoever. It's just, I think that's just to get political mileage. Nothing gonna come out of that. You know what I mean? He gonna sue everybody. He's suing anybody who ever but talk bad about him, which is just like a devil. You done won, now you are sore loser.
John.
You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, so that's perfect for when in Zechariah, the 11th chapter, in the 5th verse, it says, "Who possess a slave and hold themselves not guilty."
Exactly.
That right there is what he's doing. He's not guilty in his mind, even though, they show what he did,
Yeah. Yeah, it was clear as day. And they made up rules for him. But of course, nobody could dare speak against the oppressor. The oppressor doesn't like that. You know what I mean? The oppressor does not like that at all. Nobody could ever, speak against them. And they're showing the true colors. You know what I mean? Like what he had to worry about is if, how much more time the Lord gonna give them before this whole third world's war kick off.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to worry about.
If I could, like, this remind me of this cat remind me of Zimmerman. You know what I mean? Like, he remind me of Zimmerman. He beat that murder, and now he trying to profit off of that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to profit off of that murder. Like, he's so damn proud, and that's what happens. Like, you beat a murder. Like, if you was black and beat a murder, which would never, damn near never happens, you probably go somewhere off quietly, peacefully, and never speak again. Like, you know what I mean? But this cat beat a murder, and now he talking about suing this person. He go on radio shows, podcasts. You know what I'm saying? He said he's doing all these things because he beat the murder, and he's just so proud of it. You know what I mean? Just like Zimmerman. Zimmerman, I think, benefited off of that. Like, got some, I think, a couple $100,000 signing autographs and shit like that. So it's just the same thing.
Yeah, you for sure right. And he, I think he auctioned off the gun.
Yeah.
I think the
God,
gun.
That's the one. Yep. Okay.
The gun was auctioned off for like what, $250,000 if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? Like, this is how they are, sore losers. You know what I mean? Sore losers.
If I could, with Rittenhouse, he want to buy back the gun he used to kill people. I saw an article on that a few weeks ago.
Yeah. He going into the White House with that gun.
Yeah.
He definitely is not you know what I mean, that's not gonna phase him. He's a hero to them people right now. And he in his kingdom, man. He in his kingdom, he ain't had to worry about nothing. he didn't have to feel no type of way about, you know, the murder or being a criminal or being wrong. Just like how I know you all heard about the Queen of England's son who raped the woman, and they paid the woman $12 million hush money, rape money. You know what I mean? It's just like that. Like they're the people who can't commit any kind of crime and just walk away from it and not give a damn and not care and not apologize. And you know, and if anybody says anything, now the person who talking about the crime is the criminal. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous.
I guess that's how it feels to be free.
Well,
yeah,
you ain't never lied. You ain't
That's
never
how it
lied.
feels to be a free man.
You ain't never lied, bro. You ain't never lied at all. You know what I mean? I need Putin to get good and free, though. I need Putin to get good and free and push the button.
Yeah, he trying to save face. He trying his best, but little do they know America with the politics, brother. They the best on the earth when it comes to politics.
Yeah,
they the best. Ain't nobody outbeating America when it comes to politics. They the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way they make themselves look.
Say again.
If I could, Captain, I thought, Captain Shop, they had most of the buildings, you know what I'm saying, that's aligned, country that's aligned with America. They put the Ukrainian colors on they major skyscrapers. I want to say it was last night to show some kind of solidarity
with Ukraine.
With Ukraine, and then they having little protests in some of these cities where a lot of Ukrainians, they doing marches now. So yeah, like you said, that war, you got to win a war on two fronts. You got to win the political war as well as the physical war in order to, you know, the general public, you know. So like,
because Putin, he trying to.
Hey, Shalom.
Barack. Yahweh.
What's going on, War? It's good to join y'all tonight with all the good festivities going on. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, I think it was Kahan was going.
Oh no, I was just saying with you know, amplifying what Captain Nathak said about the political war. You know what I'm saying? You know, on two fronts, you got to win the political war as well as the physical war. And like you said, America has the edge politically as far as the propaganda, at least on this side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's definitely, he gonna have to try to save face because of the images, you know what I'm saying, that's coming out on the screen and things like that. Because it's getting brutal. You know, they marching, I think they close to the Capitol now. You know, and I've seen an article today where it was talking about the people coming out with hammers. Like it's almost like out of Joel, where it says beat your plowshares in the sword. They coming out there with like regular tools and pistols try to ward off the Russian army.
Yeah, it's like they using Molotov cocktails to fight tanks.
Right.
Which that's noble propaganda, but damn. I don't know what they expect to do, burn up the tanks or what it is. And what's astounding to me is I can't believe how unprepared they were. Like, as you see them people leaving them cities out, they in regular clothes and they look like Ukraine been getting plenty of money, dope money, everything. All them Ukrainian mafia cats and Ukrainian gangsters and the big prostitution rings, all that money paid off in the Ukraine. All that money from the so-called Jew, the mayor's the so-called Jew. So all that cash coming to them. And on top of that, they sitting back was living deliciously, man. Living good and just unconcerned. The U.S. had been telling them for weeks that Russia was getting ready to bomb them. They couldn't believe it. And let me tell you something, that's exactly what happened in Germany. And let me tell you, it's exactly what would happen if we came out and told them that America's about to be bombed by another country. Right. Our people would not see it. Our people don't see the prophecies we've been saying.
People are shocked now that these prophecies have come to pass in their face. They've been hearing us say this on the streets for years. And now it's a shock that this thing is happening. They are completely, how you going to be giving out guns while the bombs are dropping?
Right.
The bombs dropping, that's when you giving out the guns. What the hell was on your mind then? You understand? And they breaking the rules of an Edomite. An Edomite believes in equal rights for men and women. So what I want to know is why they sending the women out and making the men stay back. They supposed to get them women and get them a gun too. They got to fight Putin too. How you gonna just have the men fight? That ain't the Edomite way. Right. Edomite believe in giving a woman equal rights. They better get their women back in there, man, and get them women fighting, because they coming up against the number 3 military in the world. Number 3 behind China and, of course, the United States. They coming up against one of the most powerful empires on this earth. And if I could add one more last thing, y'all, before I pass it back, I am shocked at how Esau is handling this. You know, when Afghanistan was fighting Russia, America was arming and supporting Afghanistan, but they didn't do it publicly. When they were fighting other wars, they didn't publicly come out and say, we sending these weapons, we sending this, we cutting off this. They are totally emotional right now. They are totally emotional in their decision making, and those decisions are going to help bring in the Third World War, because they totally emotional. They're not even using sound doctrine on how they should bring this stuff out before the press. But once again, it's the Most High's will that this thing gets real, real dirty, and there's almost no turning back.
Right.
Oh yeah, there they go. Okay, they training them women. Hey, that's who they got to get up in there. They need to. That's half their force. They're an Edomite. They're a cave dweller. Don't start acting civilized now. Talk about send away the women and children. That ain't how you ruled the world in all the past. Right. You ruled by that sword. You understand? You always arm that woman. Equal rights, equal rights. She ain't got to obey a man. Man, you better give her that Kalashnikov. If it's too heavy, give her a shoulder strap. Because you need it right now. You got Russian tanks coming down up in there. And, and they already said that they got Chechenians coming down to Ukraine to fight the Russians, which means if the Chechenians come down there, you got even more. Now you're already outside of the sphere of where you should be at. I mean, this thing could get real, real bad. And forget about it if them opposition groups in Russia start to fight the Russian government in Russia.
Right.
You know how many nations around the world want revenge right now? How many nations around the world been waiting for an opportunity to start something? This whole thing gonna spin out of control. GEN.YAHANNA from China has already said that him and Russia are going to do joint war games. They said a couple of days ago he flew 9 jets over into Taiwan airspace, something he has not done in 40 years. So you know what he's saying? He's saying, man, Russia, y'all go get that Ukraine, because I'm getting ready to come up on the other side and go snatch Taiwan up. And that's going to be a lot of mud on the United States face, man.
Yes.
Salaki, if I could,
Salaki, can I ask you a quick question, sir?
Please.
Yeah. When you was talking about the World War III on Thursday, somebody had mentioned about Israel attacking several key points of Russia in the Middle East.
They hit the bases. They hit some bases in Syria.
Right. Was that like because Zelensky, who's I think the president or prime minister of Ukraine, is a Jewish man? Was that because of that?
No, that so-called Jew, he could give a damn about them in Ukraine.
Okay.
All right. Or he would have sent arms in there. You'd be hearing about him sending weapons. They got weapons. That so-called Israeli government, they got plenty of firepower.
Yeah.
But they ain't sending nothing over there. Instead, like any selfish rat, that bastard took the opportunity to bomb Syria while everybody was looking right. That bastard went left and went bomb Syria. Because he's thinking about his own interest, which is oil wells. They want them oil wells in Syria. That was what the whole going into Syria was about. They want the oil wells in Syria so that they could have their own oil. They don't want to have to rely on another country for oil when they go to war. That's exactly what's happening now. You see how they cut off the Keystone Pipeline, even though it wasn't running anyway. And they cut off other oil interests of Russia's. Why? So that they could starve Russia out. Because whoever controls the oil controls the world. The United States is not as powerful as we think, but it is as powerful because of the petrodollar. So if while that petrodollar rules, America got the last say. That's why they're able to shut down all them banks. How you gonna shut down banks in another country when you in a different country with a different currency? I'll tell you why. Because of so many banks holding billions of dollars on oil money. They just go in there and throw the switch and shut the damn thing off, and you in a complete jam. So yeah,
Right.
to answer your question, they went into Syria to bomb them areas in Syria, man, to get back at them.
Wow for that, sir.
No sweat. Go ahead. Somebody else was getting ready to jump in. I didn't mean to take it over.
I think Kahan, you was going to say something, Kahan?
Salakia, Kahan.
Kahan, no, that's what what I was talking about earlier with the whole political aspect. With in China, they didn't even post they didn't even put it on the front page of a communist newspaper. They was like,
"You kidding me?"
It didn't even have it. Like the global world shocked that China didn't put it. Didn't even broadcast it like it was an invasion. They didn't even put it front page. So they down with Russia.
Right. They totally down with Russia in that, because once again, they got their own interests in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead. And Slack, if I can say something too.
Please, y'all.
Is it the Chinese and them who came out and said that that they made treaties with Russia. NATO made treaties with Russia that they won't go eastward towards Russia. And NATO wasn't holding their end of the bargain. You understand? It wasn't holding the end of the bargain. And Putin recognized that, and he had to make a stance. Because as he said, they want to put rockets right on his porch, his front porch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to go based off of today, I saw a video of some machinery they call the flamethrower, sir. I don't know if you heard about the flamethrower.
Yeah, I know. It sits on the top of a tank.
Yes.
And it got these missiles that are vicious as hell.
Yes.
They short range missiles, but they create. Go ahead. You go ahead and break it down. So like
I said, they said when they shoot that missile, they say it creates a heat. And with that heat, it sucks all the oxygen from around you.
Yeah.
So you're going to die. So you can imagine Putin trying to, play politics like American politics. But he's going to have to use that on them people. He's going to have to use it on them, because now the people under the president Zelensky, whatever you call him, having in mind that America coming to save them. All they have to do is stand up and fight. And Putin going, he have the weapons to, to wipe them out in a day, to end the war in a day.
Yeah.
But they make it seem like these Ukrainians, they are so, they're so fierce, fearsome, this, that, the other. When Putin could end this in a day with the type of weapons they have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but you know what? It's something else we got to look at. The fact that all those countries are pouring them weapons into Ukraine. Once again, they not playing by the usual playbook. They just coming out with it, saying we sending weapons, we sending missiles. They sending all them arms in there. It's something like 40 million people in that country. And if they send enough weapons down there, brother, that's going to be a bloodbath of epic proportions that's going to spread to every single one of them countries. Because remember, every one of them countries, even the ones that join NATO, all of them countries have a faction in there that's against NATO, that's against Democrats. So, I mean, this right here is going to turn into a complete colossal mess, man. Just like you saying, like the U.S. is keeping him hyped up, thinking he going to be good. When in fact, it's going to be a horrible bloodbath. And they're going to pour them weapons in there. And brother, like this may never end. I'll be surprised if this ends in the next, before Christ return. I'll be surprised that if this thing here ends. It could, but I'd be very surprised. Salakia. So what you saying, brother, is right on the target. You know what I mean? And that American propaganda, boy, they know how to gas a country up. You know what I mean? They know how to gas you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And general too, if I could, in the middle of all the fighting and the war and the instability with the oil and the gas and all that type of stuff, them plagues will be coming too. So as all them in the middle of all the war and the fighting that they're doing, and how them people getting displaced and they're going, how these refugee camps for them, the plagues is there still, is underlying the ones that was there before the COVID and the Omicron, and then whatever coming after. Now imagine the Lord just bring a whole new one right now in the middle of everything with this war going on. They're going to cry. You know what I mean?
You right, you so right.
We're going to be in absolute tears over it, because for sure they now reopening back up and damn near getting normal with the vaccine, and the Lord bring the war and the rumors of war, and then plagues and earthquakes and storms. It's going to be hell for them.
Yup. Because I mean, they're not even hiding it. That's the thing that's amazing to me. They're not even hiding it. You know what I mean? Salakia, y'all. I got jammed up right here.
Come on, no sweats.
Okay, I'm back. So what? So, you know what I mean? But what I want to get to, if I could, is I.S.U.P.K brought out something heavy earlier. I.S.U.P.K, you was bringing out something real heavy about how America did the same thing with Mexico, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and blacks in America, of course. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Come on. I.S.U.P.K, you hearing? I think he might be adjusting his own.
You think his mic is off?
No, I think he adjusting the audio, but he might not be hearing.
Oh, okay. Well, when he comes back,
I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. Let's get into it then, if we could.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his feet. It seemed like he's stuck a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I hope I ain't messing this up. I was trying to get in on the Black Watch.
You hear me?
Nah, you coming through kind of choppy now, attack. Like it glitching even when you move. It coming through kind of choppy.
Okay, I'm back in right now.
No, sir. I think he just gonna pop out, and pop right back in. Sir.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump in? I want to just.
Like if I could, Jim, the whole thing about all those guns going in, and you got a lot of those mercenary groups from other countries getting involved. involved. So it's like you said, they breaking every treaty in the book. And like, you know, Putin, he see it, he gonna get just as dirty as they gonna get. I'm even hearing the Taliban made a statement about Putin showing restraint to the Ukrainians. So
wait a minute, the Taliban even said it?
Yes, sir. The Taliban, I think they made a statement was it yesterday. They even giving their 2 cents in it. So it's probably, you know, this some invested interest down there. Lord knows what's going on down there in Ukraine, you know. But Putin, he's trying to play the difference between you know, his country, a statesman and or a military strongman, because they protesting and they after they arrested, like I want to say over 1,700 peace or anti-war protesters in Russia. I think early this morning or yesterday, late yesterday. So it's going there, like you said, General.
Yeah, it's gonna be you know, it's gonna be something to see. And we in it now. Like, you ain't gotta say, are we in the Third World War? We are definitely in the Third World War right now.
Come.
Like, this came up quick and out of nowhere. And the way they playing it, once again, the way they playing it is looking like they'll never be able to get out of this. Like, they choosing up sides too much and doing it openly in front of everybody. They playing this one real bad.
Right.
And another thing too. Y'all tell me, is it me or am I seeing something I'm not seeing? Because the love that I see them have for these Edomites in the Ukraine is insane. Like out of all the wars and the bombing and the killing that I see all over the earth, I ain't never seen this much love given to a nation that they were bombing and killing.
Right.
You understand? I ain't never seen that. Y'all put your mics on mute unless you talk, because I think we're getting feedback. Am I wrong on that, Mashak?
Yeah, it have a little feedback. So I think Natak was trying to figure it out, but it might be coming from somewhere else.
Okay. Who? Everybody, just for a second. Can y'all all still hear me?
Come on,
sir.
All right. I'll mute myself also when I come off of it. But I just wanted to say this: do y'all notice how much love is on those news channels? How much they bleeding for them Ukrainians? Like, oh my God, look at them. They suffering. Oh, they sacrificing themselves. I mean, the propaganda is insane.
Sir, if I could, like brothers couldn't even spell Ukraine last week. You know what I mean? Now they praying for Ukraine and throwing up prayers and crying and sighing. I'm like, what you saying is so right. I'm like, man, what is this even current? They don't even know where Ukraine is. You know what I mean?
You might still be mute. Your mic is muted, sir.
Salaki, I'm off now. Yeah,
Yes,
I think
sir.
you're right, Doc. Like, they on that TV screen, Doc, like somebody do something. They took a poll on CNN and they said 77% of the United States said to send the military in. 77%. That's 3/4 of the U.S. population. That means everybody that's white in the United States is saying send in the soldiers, which they would never say if that was any other country.
Right.
They would never say that if it was another country. Y'all jump in. Go ahead, Salaki.
So I don't know if you saw the how they circulating that video with the little car that the tank crushed. You know,
which Salaki, which one?
There's a video that they're circulating with this car that this Russian tank crushing Ukraine. Like the tank was apparently trying to chase the car or something. The car tried to outrun it, and the tank just run right over the car and then back up. You know what I mean? And they're trying to say, oh, look what they're doing to the civilians, poor civilians. And, you know, as you're saying, is the same, you know, the outcry from the public of, you know, poor Ukrainians. But meanwhile, when we were saying, you know, I can't breathe, they was like, I could breathe just fine.
Yes.
You know, when we were sighing and crying, Remember, the brothers in UK, they tore down the statue of the slave master in Bristol. UK lost it. They say you're defacing their history and tearing apart parts of their social fabric. But no, we got to feel sorry for these people.
Yes, like they had to have a whole trial and discussion and debate over George Floyd.
Right.
They had to have a whole trial and discussion over Trayvon Martin. But that Ukraine tank driving over that car was like, oh, how could they do it? Oh, I can't believe it. There it is. Yo, and let me tell you something. Them tanks is faster than they look.
yeah, definitely.
I was a little surprised. That tank banked the left turn out like it was nothing.
Yep.
And intercepted that car. That car was moving. And he banked that left turn and intercepted the car and rode right over it. Look how fast he made that turn. That's a 4-lane joint. He cut across. You know what I mean? He cut across that joint quick. And luckily they was able to pull that Edomite the hell up out of there.
If I could, sir, Salakia.
Yeah.
Is that a war crime?
Is that a war crime to do what he did?
Yeah, because I think they had something where it's like, you know, basically about some touching civilians or something like that. I thought I heard something where.
Oh, damn. Did we lose him?
What he did was like.
Yeah, like what he did.
Like,
yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. That's such U.S. propaganda because, I mean, let's flip the script for a minute. Was it a war crime to bomb Iraq into the Stone Age because they believed they had weapons of mass destruction? You know what I'm saying? Like the U.S. went over there, they killed like 100 million people or something ridiculous amount of people that they killed over there in Iraq, bombed them cities, leveled them. Like it was all about shock and awe when they was killing them Arabs. And once again, like as I'm watching it on CNN and on Fox News, who sound like a bunch of Nazi traitors on Fox News. They sound like they hate America. They sound like they want to get on Putin's side. They coming up against Biden so much. But what I was gonna say is that as I'm watching this, it's amazing to me how much compassion they have for these Ukrainians. But when you watch them news stories when they was going into Iraq, they had no compassion, which shows you, like, once again, the UPK, this is the home of the truth. Because for sure, okay, the whole Edomite race, no matter what country they in, if it's an Edomite being smashed, they can't take it. There was nowhere near this much compassion for Syria. There wasn't this much compassion for Iraq. There wasn't this much compassion for Afghanistan. They don't have this kind of compassion for no dark nation. You understand? At all. But these Edomites invoking, you know, that's why they talk about is it a war crime? They said that Saddam Hussein, brother, had yellow cake, some yellow cake. You know what I mean? Something you buy in the 7-Eleven. And they bombed the whole country into the damn Stone Age over the possibility of yellow cake. You know what I'm saying? They, took over the whole damn country, changed the government, and out said regime change.
Right.
You understand? And it was like that was no problem. They went into Afghanistan because they said Saddam committed terrorism, and they bombed that country for 20 years. And you ain't hear nobody say, is it a war crime that they killing all these civilians? Is it a war crime? And listen, and let me tell you something. That's why I see why the Most High said he's a man of war. Because really, the rules only apply to whoever wins.
Yeah.
That's all that apply. Whoever wins just decide what was right and what was wrong. You know what I mean? If Hitler had won, there would have been no Nuremberg trials. It wouldn't have been it would have been trials on American and British leadership. Instead, they would have been beheading the American president, and they would have been locking Churchill up and the rest of them up, and they would have been just like, these are the war criminals. We was trying to liberate Germany, and these men fought against us. They invade like America invaded Germany and bombed the hell out of Germany. If America had lost, they would have been like, yo, that's a war crime. So it's like they got rules written, but ain't nobody paying them the rules. That all the while this was going on, you heard them saying we having a special meeting at the UN Security Council, right? Well, guess what? Russia is sitting in that room while they have an emergency meeting. The Russian representative is sitting right there on the other side of the table while they having a meeting about how they're going to discuss stopping this war. He's sitting right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They talking to him right there. So really all of it is it's a good question, because is it a war crime? Hell, is killing black men on these streets, is that a war crime? That seems like a war crime to me. Like for you to target one ethnic population and kill and murder them so much, I mean, that seemed like a war crime. But it don't never get mentioned like no war crime. Because again, whoever's in power, it seemed like they can just decide who the demon is. And that's it. And when somebody just as powerful as them come along, then all they got is their propaganda. All they got is trying to convince the world who is who. The biggest threat, once again, the UPK, man, the UPK, brother, is the, my heart just is moved by this school, because we were so hated and so looked at wrongfully for focusing on our race and these 12 tribes. But I'm telling you, man, you look at this battle, this war going on the world stage. You know what the biggest weapon that they got against Putin is right now? The biggest weapon they got against Putin right now is the fact that the people that Putin is killing are white people, are blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people. That is the biggest problem he got. Like, he gonna have to go in that country and he gonna have to get them cameras, which is almost impossible because everybody got a cell phone. Them days is over with where you could just hide, but they can cut off the communication possibly to them satellites. And I ain't even sure they could do that. But that is the biggest problem he got. As long as there is white, you see them white people sitting at that train station. You see them. Remember CNN showed that footage with the old man bent over.
Yeah.
And as long as they showing white women crying with their babies and their backpacks and bunched up at a train station, that's how you gonna beat Putin. See how they showed young men, distressed and saying how they gotta go and fight and yada yada yada. That's what would beat Putin. Why? Because the rest of the white world does not want to see a white nation catching raw hell. Like Putin is kicking their ass like you kick a damn Arab's ass when you go to war. Like, that's how he doing them like they the goddamn Taliban. Even his propaganda against them is the same. He like they terrorists, they drug addicts. That's you heard what he putting out? In Russia, they Nazis, they terrorists. They drug dealers. He said drug dealers and thieves have taken over Ukraine and turned Ukraine against us. Like he treating them just like you treat a greasy Arab or some other when you want to go kill him. So I know exactly what you're saying, Gadal Hart. It's like, aren't these things damn war crimes? And my answer is hell yeah. But the only reason it's even coming up in the news is because of these lily white people, and they lily white country is getting, done in. And that's it. Meanwhile, black men, you can't even protest. Like we walk around under a Nazi occupation every day in this country. And no matter how many times
that's right,
and in how many ways you say it, we say it 1,000 ways. You always got to look behind your rearview mirror. You got to teach your son how to act when he gets stopped by the police. Always keep your hand up. That's occupation. That's terrorism. They just announced in New York City that they bringing back the plainclothes cops, which what that means is we just going to terrorize the city. That's our only way to stop crime. And you only do that in a war zone. Like when Putin go in there and he occupy that place, he going to occupy that place up and they going to terrorize every time a tank or a Jeep or 4 or 5 soldiers walk into a cafe or a coffee shop, it's going to get silent in there. Just like it do if 3 or 4 cops walk into a black coffee shop right now today. Let you be sitting in the Jamaican restaurant eating some oxtails and some ackee or whatever, and then let 3 or 4 white cops just walking in to get out the cold or walking in to grab some sodas and walk in the restaurant. Watch how the restaurant get quiet.
Yeah.
Just because don't nobody know what their intentions are. That's occupation, man. That's terrorism. And that's what has happened to us in this place. But of course, don't nobody care about that because they in power, which is why I see why the Lord's solution is warfare on us and them. When we disobey them laws, statutes, commandments, warfare on our ass. You hear me? When these other nations oppress us, warfare on their ass. Let me read. Can I get Kazak y'all to read? Kazak I'm to read one scripture for me. You know the one I'm going to. Give me Isaiah 49 and 26. There you go. Remember, she walked up to them peacefully. Oh man, you pulled a good one out. Look at the gear that they carry. Look at that gear.
The RoboCop
protests off of the killing and abuse of black people. And she, in her ignorance, believed that she could show them some love, show them some peace. That's what that Edomite did that kneeled down in front of that tank. He kneeled down in front of that tank and tried to do a Tiananmen Square on that damn tank. They snatched his ass up and hit the gas on that goddamn tank. You understand? And this sister right here, poor sister, in her ignorance, came up to them for love. These bastards snatched her up and arrested her. She got arrested this day. I don't know if she ever been arrested before, but she got arrested. Here's the sad part. I wish our sisters could look this way with love towards our black men when they make an error.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wish a sister could come out her house and say, brothers, please stop fighting, or whatever the case might be that she walk up on. I guarantee you she would have got a lot more mercy from them than she did from these cops. Because they snatched her up, brother. And you see them plastic ties? They threw them plastic ties on her, brother, and took her away. Okay. But that kind of compassion only goes to white people, man.
Right.
That goes to them. Salakia. Go ahead, Kazaka. Yeah, now I'm gonna jump. Kazaka.
Sir. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 26. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh.
He gonna feed them with their own flesh. This is about to spill out worldwide. And something else we should look at biblically. The Lord don't give a damn how powerful your damn country is, man. The Lord will drag you into something and have you effed up bad. Playing with him.
Right.
He is the power in this earth and deserve all praise and recognition and respect and love and admiration and everything, man, because he is the power. He can take down any nation on this earth. Flesh and blood does not move him at all. Your tactics, your ability, your whatever does not move him at one iota, because of course he can always outdo you. And listen, and Russia feeling that and Ukraine feeling that. You understand? And we ain't checked the finances on it, but I bet you a lot of them, I mean, that Ukraine, they had them skyscrapers and glass windows. I wonder how did some Eastern Bloc country up there in freezing ass Ukraine become so wealthy and powerful and black people can't even get a job?
Right.
The North American Indian can't even grow food on his farm, but they got skyscrapers and factories and trading with gas and oil. And I mean, just living a wonderful life in their own country with their own identity, man. You understand? That place looked like downtown Philly or downtown New York. Some of them areas they were showing. That Capitol looked amazing with them brass rooftops. You saw them brass rooftops? Those are old Ottoman Empire. That's old Ottoman Empire architect on that building in Ukraine, on that Capitol in Ukraine, with all them brass domes. That's old Ottoman Empire architect, looking restored and new. Look at their empire. While black people in the ghetto can't pay their rent. And listen, and they opened up the spigot overnight. Millions pouring out of the U.S. over there. Millions pouring out of here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Sympathy. People sending tons of money into Poland right now, supporting them, feeding them, taking care of them. You understand? Meanwhile, Haiti's sitting there starving to death right now. People living in shanty towns in the Caribbean. Black people in the South locked up in prison for weed, getting life sentences for weed that's legal now. You understand? Like what about that? Because of course, the earth is filled, like the Lord, once again, everybody out there hearing this, you got to dive into the scriptures. When the Lord told Ezekiel, eat that roll, you got to eat them scriptures. Remember what the Lord said to Cain. The Lord told Cain, look, Cain said, my curse is too great for me, man. The Lord said, by the sword thou shalt live. And that mark he put on Cain, right now, that mark on Cain, that white skin on Cain, gives him privilege worldwide for you, that you can't kill him like you want to.
Yeah.
Like Putin trying to kill white people. And the world is upset. They're going to cut the banks off. They're going to start World War III because white people are getting killed. You think if Putin hit an Arab country or some other country loyal even to America, you think they would be talking about cutting off the very central bank of Russia? That is you crossing into global thermal warfare when you start talking about that. You're talking about completely bankrupting the Russian Empire. And that's because them white faces on that screen must have an answer. There must be an answer, or white supremacy worldwide cannot sustain. It can't sustain. Either they got to take it off the screen or they got to do something about it. Go ahead, Kazak, finish that.
Kawakan. And they shall be drunken with their own blood.
They drunken with it now. And meaning this, they all caught up into their philosophies. And they going in and killing their own people to establish what they believe in and the order that they want. And they drunken with it. Putin is not trying to stop. They say he dressed down all his top cabinet members. He checked the hell out of them publicly. They say he done isolated himself from people. He done got real paranoid. Like they've been doing tradecraft and spy stuff for years. Now he done got old and he paranoid. There's somebody going to slip him a Mickey or do something to him and knock his ass the hell off. So they caught up. They drunk now. And the U.S. can't let it go. They already look like chumps in Afghanistan. They looking like chumps in Iraq. They looking like chumps in Syria. They looking like chumps with Iran. They looking like chumps. So they can't go out like that. They got to stand up to him, which is the Lord sucking them in. Sucking them into that valley of Jehoshaphat. So they drunken like you bring it out, Kazak. Go ahead.
Kawakan. As with sweet wine.
But sweet wine, when you drink sweet wine, you get drunk quick. You don't notice you get drunk so fast because the sugar gives you a bit of a rush. So you think you good And then all of a sudden you stand up out the chair, brother, and you wobbling, you ready to fall down. That liquor hit your ass so hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why winos drink, cheap wine, because that cheap wine, bang, it hits you good. That top shelf, it grow on you. You know what I'm saying? I might have to crack me one now. It's so good. Y'all got me in this good ass show so good. I'm gonna shut up after this scripture though, because I'm enjoying this more than I deserve to be. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I finish it for us.
Kawaka, sir. And all flesh shall know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer.
Go ahead.
Salagi, sir. The mighty one of Jacob.
Like, that's what the Lord want the world to know. The world gonna come into order when they understand who is the power and who and what he desires and wants. Then you're gonna have peace on earth for all men except for Esau. All nations gonna go into their land and be in peace and all that, and they're gonna behave the hell out themselves because they're gonna know that the power of all powers is not playing. These records, we're gonna go just like we got the records from the last 5,000 years. We're gonna have all these records as well. They're gonna be digging up the Library of Congress after the nuclear war. Thousands of years later, they're gonna be, man, we found the records of an empire called America. Yeah, man. And they had us in captivity just like ancient Egypt. They broke the covenant twice, and this and that and the other. And we're gonna be like, what? No, man, you kidding me? And they're gonna be like, yeah, man. That's what happened. And we're going to be like, let's read them records. And we're going to pull out them records, brother, and read about George Floyd and read about all the stuff that went on and all the wars and how the Lord came in the end, like he prophesied in Revelation and in Ezekiel, and bombed these nations into the Stone Age and gathered up the 12 tribes and took control of this entire earth and put it in order. And we're going to just praise the Most High, brother, for millennium. Because we're going to understand who and what it is that is going on in this earth, man. You know what I mean? So, Salaki, I ran a little bit on that, y'all. Let me let y'all get back in, please.
Well, so it's the one. He for sure. It's out of control now. It's down there. Like as it's saying, the reaction is they're masking it with the concern for the oppressors, but really they're scared of him and what could happen if they act. Like they damn near in a trick bag now. The Lord done pull them all the way into something where they'll talk about the humanity of the Ukrainians and this and that, but really they're just really scared because they don't know what he gonna do next, and they know that if they act, he gonna do something next after that. They're panicking.
Salaki, if I may, General and Captain Shock and Commander GEN.YAHANNA, what you just was saying is so heavy, and Captain Shock, to piggyback what you were saying, is like I was listening to what conservatives are saying here in America, and a lot of the Republicans are calling Joe Biden weak for not going to action, and then the Democrats, because Commander GEN.YAHANNA, like you said, these are white faces. The Democrats are at the same time pushing for Biden to act, but to follow the intelligence the CIA has. So it's like you said, Jordan, the Lord is putting a spirit on them to go there. It's like both sides is wants him to act. It's just a matter of how he gonna do it, sir. So
you right, Doc. And let me tell you something, Doc. Them neocons, them conservatives, and them traitors over there at Fox News, they should be calling them out as traitors over there at Fox News. Yeah, your president is in a possible nuclear, in advanced stages of a possible nuclear war with Russia. And them traitor ass Edomites from Fox News got the nerve to degrade him and take shots at him. And dog, if Donald Trump was in that damn office, Putin would have been bombed them country. Right now, if Donald Trump was in the White House, Putin would already have the plans on the table to take over all of that area up there. He probably was waiting to see if Trump get a second term before he went in there. Like, once again, like I said, Joe Biden's an Edomite and a devil just like all of them. But he's a company man. Like, America ain't get this strong and powerful sitting around playing cards. Like, they got young geniuses sitting in these think tanks, man, that tell them all the play-by-play. They got cats out that's just all they do is study Russia. You got cats that all they do is study Putin. You know, it was a good movie that really illustrates that. Have y'all ever seen The Hunt for the Red October?
Yeah, sir.
In that movie, The Hunt for the Red October, is the same actor that was in there that shot that gun that killed that Edomite on the set of his new movie. What's his name? Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, sir.
I believe he's the one that played that part. Am I right?
I thought it was.
Y'all not
was
sure.
It
It don't matter. It don't matter. Here's my point.
Yep.
No. The Hunt for the Red October was I think it was James Baldwin with the English Edomite that played 007 back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sean Connery. Sean Connery played the captain of the ship, but then the cat that was from the CIA, I think it was the Baldwin cat, but I could be wrong. But here's my point. What they were showing you in that movie was how they got cats out there working these think tanks that all they do is study certain people in other countries. You know what I mean? Like, you see all them generals and retired CIA people that they be bringing on CNN and Fox News. You got people in Russia that all their life, all they do is study that one cat. Read every book he wrote, read every article he wrote from college, study his family. That's how they operate. Well, America got the same. Donald Trump is too goddamn stupid to listen to them cats, huh? You understand? Right. He's too much of a selfish egomaniac to even listen to them. You know what I mean? Like this, the Lord probably put Biden in just to give us a little more time to gather up the last of the 12 tribes, because Trump probably would have, they probably would have been on the doorstep of the U.S. because they know he wasn't going to do nothing anyway. His own intelligence said that they interrupted with the election, and his dumb ass just sat up there and said, well, Putin said he ain't do that. You understand? Like a damn idiot. So Joe Biden and them is handling it the best that it could be handled, and that's their better shot at it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to help because this here is the Lord's judgment. That's right. But Edomites should be glad that he's up in there. You understand? Because he's their best shot to follow out what the intelligence people tell him to do. Because again, he's a company man. He ain't coming up with these ideas himself. They coming up with it. But they also scared to death. Oh man, they scared to death because they initiating too much attack on Russia too early. Like they getting ready to sacrifice the farm over these Edomites in the Ukraine. They getting ready to shut down the central bank of Russia over these Edomites in Ukraine. They would have never done it for an Arab country. Right. And they take a big gamble. Go ahead, Kahan Salaki.
And it's messing with a lot of them Russians that got real estate in Florida. An article came out, I think it was yesterday, where they talking about how a lot of Russians that own real estate in Florida that has ties to Putin, they getting worried. They scrambling down in Florida right now.
Yep. You got them. You right. They got them billionaires out living down in Florida with all that Russian money, and America cutting their banks off. That's. I mean, this thing here is gonna go crazy, and you know what I mean. And if was somebody else gonna say something, because I was gonna add something else, but I don't want to just keep jumping in. Somebody else want to jump in, please. Go ahead, and then I'll come on back.
Just real quick, so we know that I was looking at a news article where it's talking about how Cuba, they down for Russia, but they weren't with the invasion. To show you that I don't even know where their stance is at with that, but so I would like to hear your input on that, sir.
On which one? On what was that? I'm sorry.
Cuba, has always been in support of Russia,
right?
Yeah, but they said they weren't feeling him going into Ukraine. They weren't like supportive of the invasion. So I would like to hear.
You know what? That's funny you say that. That what you brought up is an excellent point. If I could, that's an excellent point for this reason. Now, as loyal as Cuba has been to Russia, as loyal as they've been, they 90 miles off of the coast of Florida. They was ready to put nuclear weapons in Cuba back in the 60s. Okay, we talking 60 some odd years ago, 50 some odd, almost 60 years ago. They was down with the Russians, ready to put nukes in their country to back up Russia. Now, Go look at the wealth in Ukraine and go look at the wealth in Cuba. Something is wrong. Why isn't Cuba wealthy and rich? Why isn't Cuba got tons of money? Why they ain't got skyscrapers and cobblestone streets and beautiful cop cars and ambulances and glass buildings and skyscrapers? Why Cuba ain't got all that? Where's Cuba's cut of the money? Because once again, it ain't a white nation. It ain't a white nation. So of course they get cut off rather than get put in. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't go by nothing they say on the outside, because a lot of them gonna say, well, we ain't with that, because they understand what I wish our people would understand. And that is that nobody wants to hear that white people is getting bombed into the Stone Age. Don't nobody want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So they real quiet about it right now. But it don't mean that they ain't actively working with the Russians or anybody else to do this place in. Let me tell you something. The scriptures say this, which is so important. The scripture says they that are Confederate. Matter of fact, get that for me, Kazak and Obadiah. You know what I'm looking for. You understand? Then we're going to come back and do a little bit more in Isaiah 29. If we could, we'll come back and do a little bit more in that. And anything else y'all want to jump in with. Because what is being missed here is that the ones that's Confederate with this man, they laying a wound under him. Everybody going to want to take a piece of this country and all the other countries, man. It's going to be a mess. So he might be saying that now, but we don't know what's going to happen as this thing starts to unfold. They got so much good technology now, brother. Like that cell phone is almost as deadly as any other technology the CIA has ever had before. Like regular spies using a damn cell phone are sending messages and communicating and exposing people and tracking people. They doing so much dirt. Y'all heard about that new iPhone tag? Y'all heard about that? Yeah, I mean, they say that this tag, they can put this tag in your bag, and then any iPhone that comes near the tag sends a message back to the person that owns it and tells them where the tag is at. So I mean, spying just got super duper easy for every nation on earth. That's why they so worried about the hacking. You know what I mean? You can best believe, all them nations gonna be hacking. And they probably got nations now that's gonna hack the US that the US ain't even gonna know that it's them doing it. And they gonna do it to Russia. I mean, they don't understand how much their technology has brought them together. They like 5 niggas fighting in the same jail cell now. They like all in the same jail cell. All right. Something just come on that giving the feedback. That might have been you, I'm not sure. So yeah, I wouldn't go by what they saying, Ash, because who knows? You know what I'm saying? They doing so much dirt in the dark for their own benefit, it could get crazy. And Cuba definitely wants revenge on America for the Bay of Pigs. So who knows what they doing? They may have all kind of terrorists in this place. You know what I'm saying? You can best believe every nation on earth got agents in this country. Every last one of them, even down to the Korean boy, North Korea, all of them. So they done got too close to each other to where it could be anything going on with Cuba. Salakia, go ahead.
What you were saying there with the spying, like they're spying so much, he forget to spy the war.
Right.
This German spy chief, he's stranded in Ukraine.
Damn.
Because he was spying, but he wasn't spying Putin.
Right. You know what? I think that they was up there really not realizing what was happening.
Right.
Like they was in such la-la land that they just did not realize what is happening. And sadly to say, that's our 12 tribes right now.
Come on.
So many weird things is gonna happen. Remember, oh man, there's so many scriptures you could pull on this. What's that scripture where the Lord said, where the Lord called this the virgin daughter of Babylon?
Oh, Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47.
Okay, grab that one too, because can I run these real quick, y'all? I don't want to hog it up, but let me run these quick. Unless you was gonna say something, Nato Salakia. Somebody else jumping in? Kahan, Mashak. Okay, let's do these real quick.
Come on. Psalms chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right. They consulted, brother, and brought us into captivity, and the world is eating off of us. Remember now, the world's economy is run by the petrodollar, the US dollar. Who are the slaves in America, man? Who are the ones running them trucks and filling up them gas stations and working on them refineries and working in every store that got to carry all? That's us.
Right.
The whole earth is eating off of the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel. You understand? Right. The whole daggone earth. Read on out.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. Let us cut them off, man. Let me ask you something. Nathak brought this up earlier. Also, Nathak, which was so heavy. Me and Nathak had a conversation earlier at camp. Man, I wish we would have recorded that conversation, man, because we was going into some deep stuff. Here's a question for everybody out there. Is America doing the same thing to Texas and California that Putin is doing to Ukraine? Like, how you gonna be mad with Putin for bombing Ukraine? Then what about California? Right. Don't that isn't that annex? Isn't America annex their neighbors' land too?
Right.
Go ahead, Khan.
No, it's so heavy you saying that, because like they say historians now, they mind boggled by Putin's history of how he's saying that Ukraine don't even have a right to exist because of the whole situation. Like the way that the scholars say history is, he don't agree with it that way. He got his own version of how things was supposed to be with Ukraine and Mother Russia.
And so did America, because California is filled with Latinos right now. Texas is filled with Latinos. They can't stand Latinos in Texas because of that. Right or wrong? And they occupied, they took over that land, they annexed that land to the empire. Did they not? What about Puerto Rico?
Yes, that's what I was about to say, sir.
Come on. Go ahead, Ox.
Yeah, they doing that exact same thing. I be considering that all the time, like they did it in 1493. It's the oldest colony in the world. And here in 2022, they're enforcing it now with all the rich going over there, setting up shop, and then taking advantage of that Law 22, which states that they don't have to pay capital gains tax. Meanwhile, we do see protests in the streets with the people complaining about the minimum wage status and the political status. They like the Ephraim is really hating on the government, you know, and a lot of the Ephraimites there, they want them old statues to be torn down because as a reminder of what happened then, but they also don't want the gringos there any longer because they see what's coming. Like on our own public land, we can't even go to the beaches any longer because you know how these Edomites, they set up and then all of a sudden they declare everything private.
Yes,
you know? So
they buy up the beach land. Go ahead, Salakia.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
like that Putin, they doing what Putin did, doing it right now. 0% capital gains tax in Puerto Rico. Oh my God. And listen, they already robbed Puerto Rico once. Remember that governor that was in there was giving out them loans and then of course defaulted on all the loans. Gave all those rich corporations loans. You understand? It was a setup. They put him in. He gave out all them loans to them rich corporations and then crashed the economy of Puerto Rico, sent them back 100 years into poverty. And now they're going to have the zero gains tax. So what are they saying to the rich? Pour your money in here. You won't be taxed. So, of course, what are they doing? Buying up all the land. And listen, and the reason they privatize it, of course, is for one reason and one reason only, to make sure that the native Puerto Ricans don't go on their land.
Right.
The only way you're gonna be able to go on their land in Puerto Rico is if you work for the tourism industry, which in essence is you're a servant. You got to feed people, bring people drinks, clean their swimming pool, make up their bed in their hotel room, give them tickets to the play. You basically a indentured servant when you work in the tourism or hospitality industry. And I'm saying it, hey, I worked in it as a young kid too. I'm not saying like you got to do what you have to do. Ain't nothing wrong with getting a job in hospitality. If that's what you got to do to pay your bills and survive in this hell, then that's what you have to do until the Lord changes. But still, while you in that job, know for a fact that this is evil as hell that's being done. Like that is exactly what Russia is wants to do in the Ukraine. He's saying it don't exist, it don't got a right to exist, or none of that. And so now, you know what I mean, from incredible tax incentive. Listen, and look at this. This is in the Global Expat Advisor. Now, which Negroes and Puerto Ricans read that?
None, sir.
None. Listen, they got scheduled consultations. Like they're gonna show you how to move your money into Puerto Rico, buy up the land, and starve out the Puerto Ricans and turn them into servants.
Hey, so can I?
Listen, if I could, real quick, they doing it because they know the world going into war. So they know they got to get their money off of Wall Street, out of the banks, all of that. So what are they gonna do? Buy up all the land where they ain't got to worry about no taxes while we starve and die. Go ahead, Salakia.
Yeah, I just want to real quick point, and this goes to show that for years, Puerto Ricans have been wanting statehood. I'm hoping that they can see what statehood looks like in this form, But they've been wanting it, and here it is. This is what statehood looks like for Puerto Ricans, here and on the island. That's all I wanted to say, sir.
If I could, sir.
Please.
It's like you said, go ahead. Now it was something you said the other day too. You talking about how you're gonna see in these times like how Edomites they're gonna try to figure out how to keep their wealth and how much they're gonna start to starve you and really try to press down on that oppression on you because they got to keep up with their wealth. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like I'm curious to see how that goes and how that kind of pushes brothers to kind of come together more on that end because it's going to happen. Like you're gonna probably see overtime or trying to just really like beat you down into the dust when it comes to working. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, what GEN.YAHANNA Cap, what you saying is so right and true because once again, like their compassion is gonna be based on how well they're fed. Like they gonna have compassion on the Ukrainians, but they are not gonna have that compassion on the Puerto. Like they ain't. And listen, it's so amazing. It's amazing, brothers, for this reason. White people moving into Black and Latino neighborhoods all over the country. They call it gentrification. It's a common word, right? And they ain't saying to themselves, look at the poor Blacks and Latinos. I can't participate in buying up their land and pushing them out of their neighborhood and raising their rents. Ain't no white people saying that. Right. But they mad as hell at Putin. They mad. How could Putin go in there and destroy some sovereign people like this? This is not right. This is not right. Bullshit. Go. Your mic is on mute, though.
So like,
if I can say one thing.
Okay, Counsel, like what you're saying, sir, that's so right, sir. Whereas, and it goes back to America politics again. Like America, real smooth with the words. Like they will find policies to starve you or to, make sure, like for example, the so-called Mexicans, they in cages on the border, but ain't no Ukraine president ain't come up against that.
Right.
The Russian president ain't come up against it. You understand? No, we had
white people right here ain't come up against it.
You understand, sir? So now with this whole Ukraine the crying, America made up a bunch of hypocrites, man. Because you can't tell me if you're against what Putin doing, then you should be against of America war tactics. You should be against America policies, the democracy, because that's all the claim to do, to go and try and help other nations when they're actually invading your nation. You know what I mean? But no, you know what I mean, Putin and them, you know what I mean, they you know what I mean, Uric and them, they're brute boys. So they ain't for the nice talk or nothing. They'll pull a tank up inside your zone and give you some time to, you know what I mean, to question yourself. Should I get out or should I fight?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. Because they're fitting to turn it up. But America, they have with their politics, they have ways of making Mexicans look bad, and what they're doing, they're trying to help the Mexicans. No, they're in cages. Now they're going to try to give the Mexicans parents money that they just, you know what I mean, that they just separate from the kids. You know what I mean? It's almost like, you know what I mean, like they're trying to, they're masterful with it.
They experts at propaganda. Experts at propaganda. Like, listen, we better know this. All of white America believes that we are all criminals and we deserve what the cops are doing to us. That's why that Chinese judge was crying for that white lady cop that murdered that young boy. Like that young boy, that brown skin on him ain't never gonna get no compassion. Ain't never gonna get no love. But that white skin on that white woman for 16 months, she cried that an Edomite got to spend 16 months in jail after taking the life of that young boy. She cried, which show you how much they love what the cops are doing. Like there's no, and that's why the Lord is such a great power. Because when we was in them dungeons in Egypt, nobody cared about us. Nobody cared about us. You can best believe it was the Lord that made Moses come down and look upon our suffering, because the rest of the Egyptians didn't give a damn about us. You understand? They could care less about us. Listen, how wicked did Pharaoh's daughter have to be to raise Moses up as her son, seeing that she got Moses because one of her great-grandfathers committed a murderous slaughter on the children of Israel. Like one of her grandfathers committed genocide on the children of Israel, to where Amram and Yoshabel had to push Moses in a basket on the river and pray that somebody find him. And only through the mercy of the Lord that this young girl found him and took him to her own. But she still raised him up, knowing that they slaughtered all those Hebrews. And she ain't never have no compassion on them Hebrews. She took it, raised him up as her son, and took him away from the brothers and sisters for good. And it was the Lord that put it on him to go down and check on us. And that's the spirit of this place as well. Like, they don't care about us, but they're gonna bleed and cry for them Ukrainians. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I mean, how horrific is it to take children from their parents and put them in cages? America, with all its wealth and power and might, the only solution was to take these people's children and put them in cages with an aluminum foil blanket and leave them to their devices for molestation, for rape, for COVID-19, for all kind of diseases, malnutrition, poisoning, and death. That was all they could do. And where was the major protest? Why they ain't turned the lights to in New York City on the Empire State? Why they ain't turned it to the Mexican colors for the people in Mexican? Why they ain't do that? Why white people ain't come out with Mexican flags saying this is an atrocity? even Edomites in Russia, they said they locking up thousands of white people in Russia because they protesting that their own president is moving on them white people in Ukraine. They mad as hell. They don't want him to go and kill all them white people in Ukraine. They mad about that. But where was the Edomites that say, yo, we ain't having this, man. You ain't locking these babies up in cages. You ain't gonna do that. Where was that at? None, it wasn't nowhere. That's where it was at. It was nowhere. And that's why the Lord gonna do the same. Like you, like we was talking, like you was bringing out earlier. It's like they got compassion for them. And the whole, and let me tell you, once again, I'm gonna say this one quick more time. I see it in Ukraine. In this Ukraine war, as I'm watching the coverage, I see how white people worldwide love white people. Like they don't want to see no white country be treated like they do these dark countries. They don't want to see not one go through that. And brother, it's amazing to see. And brother, that's why the tide gonna turn. When the Lord return, the white skin gonna be treated like the black skin is treated now. And the black skin gonna be treated like the white skin is treated now. Yeah. That's gonna be the difference. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. Salakia,
General, if I could, sir, I was looking for this clip for you just now, Salakia, with UK's president Boris Johnson talking about how we will not accept a strong nation bullying a weaker nation, and that's wrong. I'm talking about Russia. If I could play it for you, sir.
Please, because that's amazing. The fact that they say that is amazing. Go ahead.
Half of Europe, including a dozen or more members of NATO and of the European Union, will be only partially sovereign and required to seek the Kremlin's approval before inviting any military personnel from NATO countries onto their soil. The Czech Republic, at the very heart of Europe, hundreds of miles from Russia, would have to ask the Kremlin for permission if she wanted to invite a company of German infantry to join an exercise or even to help with flood defenses.
Like he now, of course, defending or advocating for the smaller countries, how they would have to go and, genuflect to Russia if they allow Russia to continue to be big and powerful. And there's the next thing he just said here. So
there is nothing new about large and powerful nations using the threat of brute force to terrify reasonable people into giving way to otherwise completely unacceptable demands.
Oh my God!
General,
oh my God!
Here's the devil.
Did I hear what I thought I heard? He said it is unacceptable for powerful nations to do this to smaller nations.
And he said terrifier. He said,
and he did say terrify. Like that's why we gotta call on the Lord. Nothing else matters but the Most High. That is what matters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what matters. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Like Mr. Fool Troll said, to them, we are not even considered a nation. We are trash that needs to be incinerated. You right, Mr. What? Mr. Fool Trolls. You right, brother. You right. And Javaris Thomas, you right too. Where you say upside down. You right. The scriptures say they've turned this thing upside down, which is so true, man. I'm just reading some of the comments brothers is putting in. Y'all can throw them up there too. There you go. Upside down, you right. Go ahead. Somebody was saying something. Let me put mine on mute. So
if I could, sir, it just remind me. It reminded me a while ago. There was a tape you made a while ago, and it was basically about how the Europeans at today trying to separate from the British, and they had that sign, that "Don't Tread on Me" sign. You know what I mean? That "Don't Tread on Me." Why they saying "Don't tread on me"? They putting us gonna be in slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how that happens. The hypocrisy in them is wild, and it also brings home the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? And you being the 3/5 of man and being nothing. He literally said about bullying the smaller nation, and we is getting bullied and beaten, put to death in America. Wow.
You're right. And here's what I'd like to know: how are white people going to be upset with Putin when America elected an African as president, and you Edomites turn around and say we got to take back our nation, and you storm the Capitol? Like you stormed the Capitol over a duly elected African that your white people put in office. You stormed the Capitol and said you're not having it. So why are you mad at Putin, who's saying, look, they trying to put weapons on my border? You know what I'm saying? At least if you're gonna hate Putin, hate him. If you're gonna hate what he's doing, hate him. But don't be a goddamn hypocrite to God's chosen people. Don't say that, and then when it comes to the Lord's chosen people, all of a sudden you don't understand what the hell nobody's talking about. And let me tell you something else, that's also proof that when they killing us in these streets, they know what the hell they doing. They know what they're doing, but they thinking like Putin, oppress us. That's how they thinking. They ain't thinking like Ukrainians. While Putin bombing Ukraine, they thinking like Ukrainians. They got the heart of a Ukrainian. They thinking compassion on the Ukrainians. But when it comes to us, they ain't thinking compassion on these poor black people, Latino people, and Native Indian people. No, they thinking they the Ukrainians because you elect an African in office, then you listen, you Russia because you put an African in the White House. You are the Russian aggressor because you say before a football game, you say, I'm gonna take a knee for all the brothers that you killing across the world, across this country. You are Putin. You are Russia. You got stomped out into the Stone Age because how dare you say that we're wrong for killing blacks in these cities the way we are. So you black people become Putin in that day. But they're the ones that's the damn Putin, man. Okay? Come on, Salakia, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You want go ahead.
In that clip too, sir, he say who would terrify reasonable people to accept unreasonable demands. And like to even say it like that, that's what America did then to the Hispanic people, saying how they criminals and this and that. When they're reasonable, they come in here and working and doing everything, and you giving them unreasonable demands, but they stood idly by when that happened. Even with Venezuela.
No, go.
That I was even saying, because Britain right now holding, I think, is like $800 million of Venezuela's gold and would not give it back to Maduro, and he was asking for it when they had the whole coronavirus, and the last thing they went through when the economy collapsed, he was asking for the money, and they said they're not giving it to him, and it's his money. They just put it in the bank up there. So how you gonna now come and say you terrifying reasonable people with unreasonable demands? All of a sudden you get a conscience. You know what I mean?
And Putin's demand is that Ukraine do not join NATO.
Right.
Like that's the unreasonable demand. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
And it's like it's if I could say something, if my memory calls good too, America stopped Cuba from getting missiles.
Yes.
In their country from Russia.
Yeah.
They stopped it.
Damn.
So they
that's it.
So it's, you know what I mean? This year is war words, and you know what I mean. America just, as I said, they want to make the Kremlin look like it's Satan's playground. That's what you know what I mean, and Putin in charge. You know what I mean? They want to vilify them, like they're doing the same thing. Germany tried to do, which is take over the whole entire earth. Russia started doing it. They say from 1922, the USSR was able to run until 1991. Yeah. At the end of 1991, that's when Russia started. When all these other places broke off from Russia. Now America, their empire just keep on growing and growing and growing, and they're smart enough to form alliances like NATO, like UN. So now it ain't America. You can't say it's America. It's NATO. It's UN. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that they be playing with. You know what I mean? Like how you telling me Russia is not part of NATO? That had to do with some military. It's just strategic. You know what I mean? It's almost like you can't share power. One has to give in. And America, you know what I mean, slowly but surely playing on the line before they actually get in it. When Putin fire all the missiles, America might then, you know what I mean, step in and say, okay, let me see if you have money to still run with us.
If I could too, isn't NATO is the EU's military, right?
NATO is really, NATO got so many countries now. Tons of those Eastern Bloc in 1980 something, I forget, 81 or something. A bunch of those Eastern Bloc countries that was part of Russia all joined NATO. A whole bunch of them. Damn near his whole border is filled with countries that joined NATO and got weapons and all of that. And if he touch any one of them countries, all of those countries come together and go in there on his country. That includes Hungary and all of them. So so that's why he don't want them to take Ukraine, because if they take Ukraine, they directly on his border. That's how close they are. So those countries are part of NATO. Now you got the other countries that was in NATO since the 40s after World War II. That's like France, Germany, all of those countries. But since the 80s, 20-something years ago, a ton of Eastern Bloc countries joined NATO also. So they damn near took over all of Europe, both Eastern and Western Europe. Before the Soviet Union fell, all those countries was part of Russia. They were all, Georgia, Russia, all of them. They in NATO now, but they all were part of it. And so what they've been doing over the last 50 years is taking each one of those countries, boosting their economics, and then bringing them into NATO. That's why Ukraine got so much wealth or looked so good before he bombed. But Putin was like, yo, you not listening. I'm saying, give me some space. Y'all all up on my border. I keep telling y'all got to stop doing this. And to where he even saying it now. Listen, all he wants is a guarantee that Ukraine will not be allowed to join NATO. But the U.S. is like, we don't care. They ready to damn near have a nuclear war over the fact that they want to let Ukraine into NATO. They don't want to turn nobody down that wants to get into NATO, because they want to really be right up on his border. But they ain't no reversing something like this. Anytime you start getting into a battle with a superpower over territorial space, you entering into the throes of the Third World War. Like, this ain't a fight over something that specifically the Ukraine government is doing to Russia. This is a fight over the Ukraine government joining all the countries that are enemies to a superpower. That's a different type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You in a totally different thing. Like, that would be the same as if, let's say, Iraq was part of every Arab country's alliance, and then you go bomb Iraq. All them Arab countries would turn on you and come against you. So then what if they take a country and put it in that group that's right off your border, like Cuba or one of them countries? You're going to be like, nah, because if I have to bomb this country right off of my border, then all y'all Arab countries going to get in it. So, nah, you can't let this guy in it.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to keep him out. But that ain't even fly. They went ahead and did it anyway. You know what I mean? Because they about pushing, they about dealing with them Russians and them China. And they ain't like us. They ain't in the ghetto hoping for the best. They in the think tank saying to themselves, how is a Third World War going to play out? They've been playing this out since World War II. And they change it every year. They change the plan based on where the world is at. And so they ain't taking over them Eastern Bloc countries for no reason. They taking over them Eastern Bloc countries and them Southeast Asian countries down there with Thailand and Hong Kong, the Philippines, you know what I mean? South Korea. They've been doing this since World War II making sure that when World War III comes, they got enough allies and firepower to fight against China and against Russia. But the problem is you can't stop a nuclear war, and they gonna bloody up the whole earth long before it even get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, them Eastern Bloc countries, they part of NATO. They right there. That Poland is right there.
Yeah.
But if he bomb Poland, then all them countries got to get in it. If he bomb Poland, and if all them countries get in it, then you in the Third World War is all over. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? And go ahead, Cap.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say just two things real quick. Even Biden, when they had interviewed him about the situation about the situation of Ukraine, he even admitted that there's no getting out of it. This is the war of wars, he said.
Dang.
There's an interview of him saying that. And also, do you recall back in 1983 when they invaded and they so against the invasion of the Ukraine, but let us remember back in 1983 when they invaded the island of Grenada off the basis and belief that it was that the Grenada was trying to side with Russia. Remember that?
Right. That's right. They went in there, brother, and created a bloodbath in that country because they wasn't going to let them flip it. Panama too. Panama was acting out of order with them, and they went in there and took Panama. They said Panama is there. They went in there, brother, and bombed Panama into the Stone Age.
Remember recently, so they did it with Venezuela, the Trinidad, the Caribbean islands, and South America.
Damn, I remember.
You remember they had that union, and then I think Trinidad Prime Minister had a verbal agreement with Maduro, and America was pressuring the Caribbean islands to abandon Maduro, and they were saying because of the oil, we honoring the verbal agreement, but they wanted to just separate them because remember Russia was sending aid for Maduro, flying in jets. So they, it's, as you say, it's definitely politics is like a whole chess move.
Yeah,
and chess move to shore up your ends, shore up your borders. Yeah, because even Putin, I think last week or week before, where he was saying, basically leave us alone. We the same people. This is an old war we fighting. Like the Russian Empire have been building since like 800 or 900 AD. With the Runic Empire and then Ivan and Vladimir. And when you go through it, they show you how they're fighting all them territories and had to make alliances with one of them descendants from them Genghis Khan family. So that whole alliance, they're old as hell, and they used to fighting for territory. And Putin tell them back up off Milan because I'm willing to die for this as you. And they thought he was playing, and now they realize he ain't playing.
And if I could, real quick, the whole world is watching to see which white man is really the ruler of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
like, is the white man in America the real ruler, or is the white man in Russia the real ruler? They want to know which white man is the white man. And everybody's supposed to obey, which is why all the marbles is in on America. They ain't got a choice. If they let Putin get away with this, then brother, they're gonna lose so much respect in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like even when they pull out of Afghanistan and them places, they could get some compassion for pulling out. But they pull out on Putin, and brother, it's gonna be it ain't gonna be good. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be good. Like, will the real white ruler stand up? Like, will the real white ruler stand up? Is the question. You know what I mean? God. Go ahead, Salaga.
Yeah, Salaga, gentlemen. That's a heavy point you're making. Esau got a saying in America that strong fences make good neighbors. And they look at that when the same thing when it comes to borders. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of these major superpowers or big countries really fighting proxy wars with these other small countries by giving them aid and different things and propping them up. So like you said, everybody gonna see, you know what I'm saying, who's who in this war because they're gonna side with the people you know, more than likely the people that have been aiding them, the countries that have been aiding them secretly or openly, you know.
You right. You right. You know what I mean? But before we go, somebody else was gonna jump in, Salakia. I was gonna let Kazak finish those, but go ahead.
So like you said, there's one thing. This Meshach is 2 billion. Them men holding 2 billion in gold. England holding from Venezuela.
Dang.
2 billion.
Talk about what is terrifying reasonable people with unreasonable demand. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Kazak, run them scriptures you holding, man.
Kawakan, sir. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them.
No, go to Obadiah and give me where it say they that are confederate thee have laid a wound under thee. In Obadiah.
So, like you said, do you want also the one in Isaiah 47? We're talking about the old virgin of daughter of Babylon.
Yes, please get that.
Isaiah 47:1.
Yeah, but first go to Obadiah. Let's finish Obadiah, and then we'll go to that one if we could. Akim, anything y'all want to jump in with, please do. And then I got one last one if I could, y'all. Go ahead.
Kawakan. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
Right. See that? All of the men of their confederacy, all the people they down with, has brought them to the border. They trying to be down with Ukraine, taking them to the border. You understand? It's taking them to the border, to the end of destruction. Like the Lord is really showing this is specifically pertaining to Esau. This is his prophecy, man. Once again, we cannot praise the Most High enough. We cannot thank the Most High enough, because he did not have to he did not have to move the chess pieces around on the board for things to go the way they're gonna go for this nation to come out of the graves of hell. You understand? I really see in this war, it's even more than I thought before. It's more than just fighting American exceptionalism so that our nation could get recognized. It's fighting the whole idea that the world is to be white and ruled by white. Like the whole earth is to rule by white people. And that's a big order. Go ahead, Salaki,
Kawakan, sir. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Right. The men that were at peace with him, man, they deceived him. Go ahead.
And prevailed against thee.
And prevailed against thee, man. And listen, you're going to see European countries turn on America. You're going to see NATO countries turn on America. You know what I mean? Especially depending on how much pressure Putin and China are able to bring to bear on NATO countries. You're going to see them say, yo, and I bet that, remember, Germany did not want, first of all, they didn't want to even pull Russia out of the SWIFT bank. And Germany didn't want to stop the pipeline. But they put the pressure on them to do it. They put the pressure on them to do it. And as a result, they finally doing it, but they don't want to do it. And once again, these Fox News, these right-wing Republicans, they so goddamn dumb. They saying Donald Trump had the oil and gas going, and Biden cut it off. The whole reason they were cutting it off was to allow Putin to sell his oil to Europe, so that if they ever had to go to war with him like they doing now, they could pull the plug from him. If they had cut him off earlier, he would have been invaded them countries, man. They was trying to get them countries into NATO. They smart. Them think tanks, they ain't dumb. They've been at this for hundreds of years. These people study these war games from thousands of years ago. I told you the CIA, the first thing they teach you out is about the war with Jericho, man, in Israel, with Israel and Jericho. Like, they study these things, and they knew that the way to get Russia is we got to let them sell their oil to Europe while we take the smaller countries and bring them into NATO and make them strong and powerful. Then when the time comes, then we'll step to him and tell him, if you don't act right, we're going to cut your oil off. And that's exactly what they did. He's trying to stop them now because they done gobbled up all them countries. So he's trying to stop them, but they like, oh, no, we know how to deal with you now. We'll send that little country arms to fight you. And at the same time, we're going to go over here and cut all your oil off. Now, watch, they turn around. If they turn around and open up the oil in America and start feeding Europe with oil and gas, then, brother, you might as well pack your bags, because that means they totally cut Russia off. That means they're going to sink Russia. So Russia ain't going to have but one choice, which is to go in there and bomb them countries or something. He ain't going to have a choice. How else he going to get his money? If they cut all his money off and he got to fight a war in Ukraine that they feeding weapons into Ukraine. They're backing him into a wall. Once again, they don't think like we think. That's why we trust in the Most High. Like, they know how to take an entire empire down. Like, Russia is an empire. They've been tearing Russia down since World War II. They've been bringing them down. And 1980, brother, they added like 10 countries to NATO. So they peeling him like you peel a damn coconut. You understand? They peeling his ass. That's why he backed into the wall like, yo, I got to do something about this. He's mad as shit. So you see what I'm saying? So that's why it's going the way it's going. So Lockie, y'all go ahead.
So I was going to tell you. I'll tell you today. Checkmate.
Yeah.
Russia.
Just like you said earlier.
What you going to do? The queen facing you, the knight facing you, the bishop facing you. What you going to do? Checkmate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kick the ball down, game done. Rockets out, guns out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this scripture is so perfect for the politics to play in that, you know what I mean? They deceive Russia into thinking, you know what I mean? Yeah, you all the superpower, you all this, that, the other, but waited for them for this moment here, as I say, to start cutting them off bit by bit from the world. Start cutting them off. So now you cut them off. Now you don't look like the bad guy. The Russians is the bad guy. They're killing innocent white people. Innocent, nice white people have to leave their homes with the baby, get on the train, run, duck, and hide from gunshots.
Like white women crying with their babies out is a problem.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, blue-eyed white women sitting there crying with their babies, hugging their babies, they cry. Brother, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all I have to say. So this scripture you pull here is perfect for the games, the politics that they're playing. You know what I mean? Russia they lost. They're losing right now.
Yeah.
That's why Putin had to come out and had a ceasefire and say, you know what I mean, try to get them to stop fighting. Because for real, he gonna have to open, you know what I mean, the works on these people.
Yeah.
He gonna have to kill them. He gonna have to slaughter them.
Yeah.
He gonna have to, you know what I mean, bite bullets.
Yeah. He gonna have to
he
open
gonna
the
kill
gates
them.
to hell. Because the poison of American exceptionalism is already in them. They done already tasted the good life. You know what I'm saying? They ain't ready to give that up. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they would have turned on that president if they was starving and eating potatoes. You know what I mean? If all they was eating was potatoes, they'd be up there mad at that president of Ukraine. But they done tasted that West, that good money that they getting from the slaves, us. They done tasted that good money, and they don't want to give that up. You know what I mean?
And America, it's down like this whole thing, this war is the mark of the beast. Is the whole mark of the beast with the thing, because it's like Ukraine now getting down with the beast. You know, Russia trying to fight against the beast, and this war, you know, in the forehead for the philosophy, the freedom, the peace and love everybody and honor all men, and the power and the mark in their right hand where they're taking up guns. Even them boxers, them Klitschko brothers, going and join the military. Helmet, and they all gone home, and the shit looking like the perfect, European movie story where the underdog is clipping up against the big bully. Not knowing it's the other way around.
Hey, Salakia, sir. Did you see the video of the prime minister and the president
No,
of Ukraine? They in the middle of they at night. It's at nighttime. Look, in the middle of where conflict is, and they're like, we ain't going nowhere. We right here. We ain't fleeing the country. He said, I got the secretary with me. I got the prime minister with me. We right here. We ain't gonna leave the people. It's hilarious.
Yo, that's
Check it out.
crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy that they doing that. You know what I mean? Like that.
Until they get a flamethrower, sir. They get a flamethrower. They don't know what coming.
You know, man.
Or until America don't show up. Until America don't show up and leave them niggas high and dry. Like, remember, Biden done double cross France with the submarine deal.
Yeah.
Like,
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Right. Biden might just pull out and let Putin go and take everything.
And Salakia, sir, if he do take Ukraine, then they already engulf him.
Yeah.
So why not just let him have it? And the other countries right around him is NATO.
Yeah, they can't do that, because if they do that, then he continues to exist. They have to take Ukraine and contain him, and then keep him contained until they ready for whatever the next move is. And listen, and they know, and they do this knowing that eventually they're gonna have a third world war. That's why they already mentioning it. They already mentioning it, like they already know it's getting ready to go there. So they ain't gonna, they don't want to. And once again, that's the Most High. The Most High is making them commit to these things that's bringing this war.
Constant.
He's making them commit to it, and it is killing them. They don't want. You think U.S. give a damn about Ukraine? Them Ukrainians, even though they Edomites, they don't give a damn about them. But they do give a damn about ruling the world. And they do give a damn about not letting Russia and China overthrow them. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was willing to weaken Europe to bring in China. And they weaken Europe to bring in Russia. Now Russia and China's economy is tied into their economy. Now they making a move against them. You know what I'm saying? And that joint gonna be a mess. And like Gadalha said, they gassed up. They out there just saying to themselves, you know, we gonna fight, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. Let me tell you something, brother. A missile make you change your religion. You know what I mean? That missile, the sound of that missile and your eardrums ringing, you think God is telling you in the wrong. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a bad day in this hell, brother. We in it now. We in it now. All we got to look for now is to see it spread past Ukraine. If he even go into Moldova or any other one of them countries, and more than likely he gonna be smart. He's not gonna go into the NATO country, but there's a lot of other countries that's not NATO that's friendly to the U.S. that he could go into. And he go into that, then the march is on. Then it's a march. Then it's already a march, because it means now the U.S. and Europe got to back up every single country that's not in NATO that they go after. You know what I'm saying? Like America got to back up Taiwan. They got to back up Hong Kong. Oh, not Hong Kong, but Taiwan and what's the other one?
No, I think you're right, sir.
Hong Kong. That's it. Right. Like they got to back those up. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to back up. Like now, the whole Western Earth is gonna have to come under the U.S. protection, and the whole Eastern Earth is gonna have to come out under Germany and China. I mean, Russia and China. And brother, that's unsustainable. That's world war. That's world war. That's what you got when you get there. And that's exactly where they at. You know what I mean? That's exactly where they at. So lock it. We lost Kahan? Okay. Can we get back? Can we finish them scripts?
Say
something else, Salaki. I know we over the time. We're gonna wrap it up with some good scripts right here.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none.
Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. There is none understanding in him.
Right. Go ahead.
Go to the next verse, sir.
Yep.
Sir. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom?
That's what you see happening now. You had that idiot Trump in office, man. You're going to have more idiots later on. And Lord forbid if they put that Kamala Harris in there. Oh, my God. They put her dumb ass in there. You're going to have a mess on your hands.
Yeah.
You understand? Believe it or not, that Joe Biden was their best shot. You know what I mean? Like, that's a cat with a lot of years of experience in governing. You understand? And dealing with the different agencies in both sides of the aisle. Anybody with less experience, you're going to make colossal mistakes. And and right now, like the Lord said, he going to remove their wisdom. The wise men, after a while, ain't nobody going to be listening to them wise men, which means it's going to be a big ass problem. Give me a little bit more. Somebody was going to say something, Salaki.
No answer.
Go ahead. Give me a little bit more before we go.
Galakan. And understanding out of the mount of Esau.
That's right. He's gonna take the understanding out of him. Like, that's why I was saying I'm watching this thing unfold out, and I can't believe that they are identifying the weapons that they're gonna give to the Ukrainians in the open. Just they openly identifying it. You know what I'm saying? They basically are saying we're gonna fight Russia, but not with our troops. We're going to give them the weapons they need to fight. They, in essence, are saying we going to war with Russia. That's what you're saying. Even though you ain't using U.S. troops, you at war with Russia because you supplying the people that's fighting them. That ain't nothing new. That's the Korean War. That's the Philippine War. That's what's the other ones they fought over? The Vietnam War. All the wars was fought with the Viet Cong financed by the Chinese. The other side financed by the U.S. That's Korea. That's Vietnam. That's all of them battles. You understand? That's the battles in the Middle East. All of them are proxy wars that are done. When Russia was fighting the Afghanistanians, America was supplying the Afghanistanians. They taught the Afghans how to not be seen by the jets overhead. They gave them the Stinger missiles to shoot down the Russian jets. They helped them run the Russians out of Afghanistan. And we may not know it, but the Russians may have helped the Taliban run America out of there. You know what I'm saying? So this is normal, but it don't never get said. It don't get discussed till 20, 30 years later. So they talking about it openly. And brother, that's gonna be a problem. Go ahead.
Kawakan. And thy mighty men, O Teman.
That's so-called Germany. Germany got the smartest people in the world among Edomites. And the Lord is saying, and your mighty men over there in Germany, go ahead,
shall be dismayed.
They ain't going to come up with an answer. Germany going to be in a bad betwixt because they get so much oil from Russia. And if they bury Russia, man, that's a mess. That's a mess of epic proportions. Go ahead.
To the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Global thermonuclear annihilation by the hand of God. That is what you're reading in Obadiah 1 and the 9th verse, brother. Global thermonuclear destruction, man. Go and get the damn right. Damn right. Damn right. Hey, Kazak, you holding 2 more, right?
Kawakan, sir.
Let's run them last 2. I know we were way over the time and try to end it as quick as we can.
Kawakan, sir. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Like America's that virgin daughter. Ain't nobody ran up in here. They hit Pearl Harbor, brother, and they paid with 2 nuclear weapons. Okay? The only country in the world ever to unleash openly nuclear weapons on a country and wipe out 2 whole cities is America, man. And the Lord said, brother, you know what I mean? come sit in the dust.
Right.
That means you go from high power brought down to nothing. Go ahead. Oh, virgin daughter of Babylon, you the virgin daughter of Babylon. You just like ancient Babylon. Just like ancient Babylon, which is what Egypt was patterned off of, which was Greece was patterned off of, which was Rome was patterned off of, which was all the European countries patterned off of, which America was patterned off. America is the height of the Babylonian philosophy, man. The height of the wickedest religion that ever be erected in the earth, which is the Babylonian religion of the Chaldees.
Right.
Okay, which the Lord told Abraham to get away from, man. You living, you coming, you seeing that come to its full fruition. Go ahead, Op.
Kawakan. Sit on the ground. There is no throne.
No more rulership after this, Op. They're going to get real down to earth after this. Boots and jeans and all that Prada and all that going out the window. You hear me? Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and all that. Ain't nobody even going to care about none of that after a while. They're gonna be caring about winter jackets and heavy boots. What the hell they gonna be caring about? You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Oh, daughter of the Chaldeans.
Oh, daughter of the Chaldeans, meaning they the daughter of the wise magi, the wise witches of Chaldea, the wise scientists of the Chaldeans. That's the empire we enslaved in. We enslaved in the empire, brother, that has the wisdom like the Chaldeans had. Them Chaldeans, that Babylonian empire for the time that they ruled was unmatched in the world, and at such an ancient time. They was considered so advanced because it was, I mean, that was super ancient time. That was the Bronze Age. They was running an empire during the Bronze Age. You know how much wisdom and power that they had on the left-hand side to rule that ancient Babylonian empire? A whole lot. Go ahead.
Kawakan. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Ain't no more is this place going to be tender and delicate. What happened in the capital, a whole lot more that's going to happen. And brother, that's why we as a people better recognize this is not our home. They sitting up there and put a black woman on the Supreme Court. And of course, black people is acting like, see, this is the path we should go. You understand? She, of course, is married to an Edomite. Caught up into the Edomite world. You understand? Going to the Supreme Court, that's all nice and good, but that's useless to delivering this nation.
Right.
That's useless. She'll stop a few things, maybe. You understand? On the Supreme Court, maybe. But outside of that, brother, that's not what's going to deliver us. It's going to deliver us is a mightier hand than the hand of these beasts that have ruled over us for thousands of years.
Right.
And that is what the Most High is bringing. That's why we read that scripture where he said he'll feed them with their own flesh. Keep going,
Kawakan. And for thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
No. Where you at? For tender and delicate, second verse, chapter 47, second verse.
Oh, Salaki, sir.
That's all right.
For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Keep going.
Take the millstones and grind meal.
Right. You better grind meal. That's what they should have been doing over there in Ukraine. They should have been packing up flour, man, so that they could go out while they in them caves down there. They can pour a little water on that flour and make them a little unleavened bread. That's what the hell they should. They sat down there, right, trying to eat lollipops and Twizzler bars to try to survive in the middle of them damn caves while building Molotov cocktails. They better grind some meal, brother. And get ready, because you going into hell on this damn earth. Go ahead.
Uncover thy locks and make bare the leg.
Go ahead.
Uncover the thigh.
Nice and strong. Go ahead.
Pass over the rivers.
Right. Get ready, man. Uncover the thigh. Get off of all of that, man. Strap up them legs and get ready to uncover the thigh and see all the dirty nakedness of the world that you've been living in, man.
Yep.
See how nasty you've been in this earth. You understand? Third verse. We'll finish it with that and go to the last one. Go ahead. Nice and
thy
strong.
nakedness shall be uncovered.
Their nakedness is being uncovered now. You're going to really now see what these countries is made of and who they love and who they don't love. And as it get closer and closer to the end, they're going to become more angry with us because they're going to know that our people are not loyal to them. And they're going to know why we're not loyal, because they're going to know how much they took a dump on us. But they're going to need us and want us to be loyal onto them. You understand? They're going to want some loyalty. They're going to put, you think they was pushing patriotism before. They about to push patriotism now like you ain't never seen before, because they're going to want nothing but love from us. Go ahead, Doc.
Kalakan, thy shame shall be seen.
Their shame going to be seen. What they did to us is going to be seen now. There's going to be seen because the Lord is going to expose it. Because guess what? In the propaganda war, the Russia and others is going to start bringing it up. They're going to remember, the whole world saw what happened with George Floyd. They're going to start bringing it up. Look what you doing to black people. Look what you did to the Latinos. How you going to call us terrorists? How you going to call us evil? They're going to bring it up. And they shame going to be seen. Go ahead.
Kalakan, I will take vengeance.
The Most High going to bring vengeance, man. He going to bring vengeance. And how's he going to bring it? Go ahead.
And I will not meet thee as a man.
He ain't going to meet you as a man on the battlefield. He going to feed them with their own flesh. He going to meet them after they kill each other with global thermonuclear annihilation. Now, that's what's in this biblical prophecy. Matter of fact, I'm going to add one more if y'all allow me to the back of this. I want you to get the one you at, Kazak, the one you holding one more. Then y'all got to get me Zechariah 14 and 12. That'll be the last one. God, you see that? Go ahead. Damn. He quoting Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Same thing he was just saying. So that's the Ayatollah Khomeini.
So he turned around and saying that Black Lives Matter is right because you should be speaking up against the arrogance in his support for the oppressed. Oh, wait a minute. They're saying it's expected that the followers of Jesus follow him in his fight against arrogance and in his support of the oppressed. That's heavy. He's a Muslim telling people, go follow Jesus in the way he was against the oppressed, against the poor. That's what he's telling them. Meaning, in other words, support Black Lives Matter, support black people's cause, because you should be following Jesus and doing that because of the arrogance of the United States. That's what he's saying. So you're right. That's going to be coming out more and more and more. And wait till they start telling the world that we are the descendants of the Jews. Then you're going to see them go into them caves in Saudi Arabia and in southern Israel and all them Arab countries and bring out the archaeology and all the proof that we are the chosen people of the Lord. And brother, the earth going to be in a turmoil in that day. Yeah. And then the end shall come in all its glory and shining light. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's going to go. Go ahead, Doc. Let's hit those.
Kawakan, sir. Daniel. Go to the next scripture, sir.
No, go to the one that you were holding before the one I called for in Zechariah. Yeah, go to that one you got right before it. Go ahead.
The one you're about to read, Daniel 8:25.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
That's just like what you were saying now, Doc, about American politics. Or better said, American brainwashing and propaganda, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same thing. Like, they pushing something out that creates a whole lot of madness. Go ahead.
Kawakan. And he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace shall destroy many.
He gonna magnify himself in his heart. He gonna show himself to be great and powerful. And use that propaganda and that peace to destroy tons and tons of people, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Kawakan. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes.
Right. He gonna stand up against the prince of princes, man. Meaning Christ. He gonna stand up against him at that time. That's what the whole space program is about. Part of that space program is to fight these other countries that's putting weapons in space. But part of it, the main part of it, is to fight Christ's return. Go ahead.
Kawakan. but he shall be broken without hand.
But he gonna be broken without hand, brother. He coming up to show you that all of this, the end result of all of this is to come up against Christ and for Christ to have the victory over them and to take full authority and power over this earth for the crimes that has been committed on this earth, mainly to the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel. Everybody should feel good, like those that when you hear people, specifically black people. White people shouldn't feel this way, but when you hear black people talking about they worried about the Third World War, they don't know what to do and all that, that's your ignorance of the empire. You understand? That's right, Ms. Solace 2024. That's the right spirit. Like you should feel good. You should not be concerned. This has not got nothing. What we got to be concerned with is our people descending into hell.
Right.
This would, if our people had the right mindset of the Israelite school of UPK, this would be a cakewalk. Because no matter how bad or horrible it got in the streets, we would always keep the brotherhood and sisterhood. We would always feed our brother before we fed ourselves. We would always take care of someone else before we took care of ourselves. We would instinctively take care of the elderly and the young and teach our brothers and sisters right. But the problem is our people are just like we was when we came out of Egypt. We all effed the hell up with the mindset of the Egyptians. And we all messed up. And that's why we turned on each other and turned on Moses in the wilderness. Sad to say, our mindset is the same damn way. Otherwise, this would be easy to do. It would just simply be some, because listen, here's the key. Survival ain't going to be based on money. It ain't even going to be based on the weapons that you have. Survival is going to be based on the moral brotherhood and sisterhood that you have. That's how the Lord going to open the door for you. You ain't going to feed by the strength of your own hand. You're going to feed by the care and mercy of your brother that's right next to you. And that's how he's going to eat. That's how he's going to survive. That's how you're going to get through this. That's why the scripture says, yea, do I walk through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Meaning the Lord is going to be in the spirit of brothers who are going to be all about taking care of other brothers and sisters. That's how we survive. That's going to be our greatest weapon. Our brotherhood and sisterhood is going to be our greatest weapon. The better you raise up sisters and the better you raise up children, the better and stronger and greater our nation is. The more you demand that your brothers treat you with brotherhood and that you treat them with brotherhood, the more you look at them over yourself, the more their life is more important than yours, the greater and more powerful we will be in the time of the end. Don't think fighting Esau is how you're going to win. You're going to have defenses and you're going to need them because they're going to be evil among us that you're going to have to deal with. But that's not how we get out of this. The brotherhood and sisterhood and the power of that, the power of what Christ said, he gave us the tools. Love the Most High with all thy heart and all thy soul. Love thy brother as thyself. All the law hang on this. You take them two in, and brother, you harness the power of Yahweh and the angels. And that's how we going to make it up out of this. Everything else is academic and it's nice, but it ain't the key to us getting out of this situation. Go ahead, Kazak. Come on, I'm running over the time. They're going to get on my case when I get on them about going over the time. I'm on Mashaka every week. Mashaka, y'all going over the time. Now here I am, 41 minutes over the damn time.
Come on. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Yeah, he gonna fight these people, man, that have enslaved us and have turned black skin and brown skin into a curse in this place. That have made us to be something despised and hated like we was in Egypt. We built Egypt, man, the greatest empire in the world, and for all our work, they hated our guts. The scripture said the land was filled with us, and the Egyptians was vexed by us. You understand? That's what happens. And that's how, and coming together is how we come out of it. Go ahead, Ak.
Kawakan. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Oh, man, brother. If anybody ever told you before, those of you that's out there listening, if anybody has ever told you before that nuclear war is not written in the Bible, you make sure you tell them that they're a stinking liar and you got the scripture right here to prove it. You understand? That's a plague coming from the Most High. that he gonna smite all the people that fought against Jerusalem. First of all, a plague doesn't discriminate. So that show you that's not a regular plague. That's not a disease. This is a thing the Lord is going to bring down like a plague, which is global thermonuclear war. And they flesh gonna fly off their body. Them bombs doing it already.
Right.
Them bombs doing it already. When they go nuclear, then it's really going to be bad. Go ahead.
Kawakan. And their eyes shall consume away, and their holes.
Their eyes going to burn up in them holes, man. Everything that they had hoped for and looked for is going to be wiped out with that nuclear blast. Their eyes going to burn up in them holes, man. Go ahead.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And their tongue going to burn up when they open their mouth to scream, because them nuclear bombs and that bomb that you mentioned earlier that sucks all the oxygen out, it's going to suck out the air, brother, and take all the fluid with it. And that's twofold in there too, that all the lies that they have said, all the lies that their tongue has brought forth, all the propaganda and evil that their tongue has brought forth, the Most High said it's going to burn up in their damn mouth. It's going to burn up when that nuclear fusion comes. You ain't never going to have to hear about it no more. There'll be no more talk of white Christianity after that.
Right.
Roman Catholicism, Islam, and all these other religions, man. There'll be no more talk of any of that. Go ahead, Op. That it on that?
That's the end of that verse, sir.
Okay, that's it on. Is there more after that or no? That's it.
I will keep reading. I can read it, sir.
Let me see the next verse of it.
Yeah,
read. Yeah. Oh, come on now. Give me that 13 at least. Let me get that before we go. Matter of fact, 13 and 14. You got to give me before we go. Come on.
Kawaka, sir. Verse 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them.
Right. It's a great tumult now. The whole world is talking about this war. Oh my God, the war. What's going to happen? Who going to die? What is going on? That's the tumult. You in the tumult right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
Kawakan. And they shall lay hold, every one on the hand of his neighbor.
They're going to turn on each other. And believe you me, these Edomites going to turn on us. And these Christians going to turn on their own black people. And all those black people that's following the religion of the Arabs, they going to turn on black people. And the white man going to turn on them because they following the Arabs. And the Arabs going to turn on the white man. And it's going to be a mess. You know what I'm saying? These things are all going to happen. They're going to turn on their so-called neighbors. Go ahead.
Kawakan. And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
They're going to turn on each other and bring violence on each other. These Edomites want to bring it already. And thanks be to the Lord, because these Edomites have been gearing up to come down on us. Like this next election, brother, God knows what the hell they're going to do after this election. If they lose this next election, these Edomites are going to lose their damn mind. Well, the Lord is giving them something to think about. Now they can think about Ukraine instead of thinking about doing what they always do, which is just beat the hell out of their slaves. That's always the real convenient step. Now they can think about world powers coming down. You know what I mean? They're gonna get real proper patriotic in about a second. And that's the Most High's hand. Go ahead, Op.
Kawakan. Verse 14. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem.
Judah gonna fight at Jerusalem. You gonna fight too to survive and to keep your people together. You gonna fight also. Go ahead.
And the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
All their wealth is going to be gathered together in one place. Gold, silver, apparel in great abundance. Because after this, we're going to take over this earth, brother, and we're going to gather all this stuff together, man. You understand? And in that day, ain't no other nation going to ever rise up against us forever and ever and ever and ever again. Let me tell you something, Mark. It's going to come to the point where they're going to believe we are the aliens after a while. They're going to say the 12 tribes are not really human. They're really aliens.
Right.
Because look at the amazing greatness and power by which they deal. You know what I mean? And all these heathens are going to be able to live in their little villages in their country and bring their tithes up to Christ, to Jerusalem, and all their wealth and power. And the earth will be in its proper order from then on. And we ain't never going, it ain't going to never be no invasion. It ain't never going to be no meteorite hit the earth. It ain't going to never be discovered that it's a flat earth. It ain't gonna be none of that. Ain't no flying saucers coming in here to do a goddamn thing. They're gonna be arrested. Flying saucer coming here with a green man, he going to jail. Okay,
That's
when
right.
Christ's kingdom gets set up. So
That's
that's
right.
it. So with that, brothers, boy, we got a wonderful day coming. Now is the time for us to not be afraid, but to be conscious of how much righteousness we are to pour out on our brothers and sisters, man. Y'all going to get into it, man. I done said all that I can say. Y'all done let me hog up the daggone thing.
Oh God, it's the wild. So it's the wild. I think Ukraine gonna be on the menu until all the way till Passover.
Gee, my name, Most High in Christ. You know what I mean?
On the
So
menu.
we get it on, brothers. Let's hit them cams, teach our people, wake them up, get them ready for this. Y'all, did anybody go to my Facebook page and see that video Muhammad sent me? Muhammad sent me that video of that pastor saying, why is the churches emptying out? Y'all ain't get to see it. Go to my Facebook page and scroll down. You're going to see a video that's going to tickle your heart because a pastor went on Facebook saying, can anybody tell us why the churches are emptying out, are so damn empty? And I can tell them because coronavirus let them know that them pastors was full of SHIT.
Right.
That's why they emptying the hell out. So y'all go to my Facebook page, those of you out there, and check it out. And to water y'all for letting me come on in, man, and hang with y'all, man. It's such an amazing time up in here. I mean, y'all energized the hell out of me, but then I get start hogging up stuff. Salagi, you know what I'm saying? But that's because y'all so daggone encouraging, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. Muhammad sent me this earlier. I laughed, brother. I had to post this thing. Can you play it? You able to play it? Oh man, if you can play it,
let me see, sir. I might be able to grab it. Hold on one second.
Let's
I
see
think
what
it's
you
this
doing.
Hey y'all, I was reading through some.
Hold on, sir.
That come from Go ahead. No.
Yeah, just it coming up. But I just trying to arrange it so everybody could see it too.
He looks so pitiful too.
Like he look broken, so
Yeah,
he look like
man.
he got the bread line. The first time he ever walked in the social welfare office.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And they gonna be coming to Israel too.
Yep. Well, I was reading through some information the other day, and it was talking about how there's been such a decline in attendance at the local church across the nation. And just want to get your thoughts. You know, why do you think people now are no longer attending church or going into the buildings on the weekends the way they used to? And what is it that the church could do or maybe change or do differently that would reverse that trend? Let me know your thoughts.
Blackie says,
hey, y'all, I was reading.
I'm gonna tell you what they can do. Getting rid of them sodomites and them diamonds.
That's right.
You can start right there. Get them old loudmouth broads off of that goddamn podium with their loud mouth and their wide asses. Get them off that damn podium.
Right.
You know, man. You could start right there. Like you wondering why they ain't going there no more. Because guess what? Now a black woman, she don't need a sermon now. She need a black man in the house now.
That's right.
You understand? While them streets is quiet and ain't nothing moving out there, and coronavirus is knocking off your neighbor. You sitting in your house, your neighbor on the right and the left, them both drop dead. You sitting in a house by yourself, ain't a car on the street. Any creepy nut could come creeping up on your goddamn window. A sermon ain't helping you now. Them alligator shoes and Jerry curl is of no use to you. But you know what is of good use to you? A big, strong, gun-toting, loud-talking black man sitting up in that bed. And guess what? All you got to do is turn over that tail and cook a steak, and your ass gonna live. That's a good ass trade-off.
That's right.
You understand? Man, like you got a good deal on your hand. I guess it ain't such a bad idea now to cook for a black man, is it?
Right.
It ain't that much trouble no more, is it? Huh? All that I don't cook. I don't. You ain't my daddy. He your daddy tonight. I bet you that much. He your daddy tonight. You understand? Black sisters, our sisters, man. Look at the compassion they got for the Edomites, man. And put that compassion in our brothers, man.
That's right.
These brothers in the UPK that done stood on these corners, even to this day, through the coronavirus and everything, standing up for us.
That's
okay.
right.
Standing up for us. They amazing. You understand? You can't even compare to them, man. They still out in the camp, still feeding brothers and sisters out there, doing all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Kapash, Gadal, big shout out to you, your camp. Big shout out to nato. Big shout out to DC. Big shout out to Mashak for DC. And big shout out to Mashak. He all the way. You back or you still in England?
Nah, I'm still in UK, sir.
Listen, Mashak is in the UK right now, shoring up the calves on the show with us on the Black Watch, getting it in at midnight our time. I know he tired of shit. You understand? These is real brothers, and we don't get not an ounce of the honor that we deserve. You hear them on TV, or when we get off this show and you turn on that news, you're gonna hear them praising the Ukrainians that are fighting with nothing, that are using Molotov cocktails, that are staying to defend their nation against the great Russia. Well, what about the brothers in the hood who chose not to sell dope, who chose not to rob and steal and break into your house, who chose to change their life? What about them? What about our Latino brothers that chose to not hate our black brothers, but to come together with our black brothers? What about our black brothers that chose to not do what your dumb ass did in the world and hate on our Latino brothers and join our Latino brothers? And some of you out there, you dumb as hell. You think you're the Latino brothers, and some of you Latinos think the black brothers got to show you love before you show them love. Nigga, show them love when they showing you hatred.
That's right.
That's what Christ was saying when he said, turn the other cheek. You doing it for the white man. You forgive him for every damn thing he did. What about your brother that hates you? You understand? I don't give a damn what Latino don't like me. I love them. All of them. And you understand? And the Latinos supposed to do the same with the brothers.
That's right.
You understand? Like, bring our lines together, man. Damn what they think. They in the world. They don't know better. They dumb as hell. They don't even know what they supposed to love and not love. The white man reduced us into animals. We just run to the corner where the rest of our tribe is at. That's what we do. West Indians too. Benjamites be hating on the Judites up here. You understand? And the Latinos. We are in that, brother. You got to be the one to break that mold. And these brothers out on the street corners are doing it every single day. Sisters backing them up all over Facebook. All you got to do is go over Facebook and see all the cooking them sisters doing, all the sewing they doing, all the representation they doing, man. All the support, all the tithes, all the finance they trying to help with, man. Big shout out to all of them, man. ISUPK out. It is the place of the truth, not because I'm here. I'm thankful to be here. I'm just like you. I'm thankful the Lord let me in here, brother. You understand? I ain't got no special situation. Every last one of us better be thankful that the Lord done allowed us in here and to get this truth. And go on and do what it is that we do, man. So that's it, man. I done went a whole hour over. Good Lord. Salam.
Nah, it's the wild shit.
So we out of here. What?
Kai, it's on you. So if you want to go some
Listen,
more,
y'all leave it on me. I'll sit up there and turn that damn news on, and we'll just sit back and watch the festivities and make comments. I know y'all ain't trying to do that all night. So you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, I'm about 2 seconds from just turning on the stream, and all you're gonna see on the screen is one of them 24-hour news channels showing all the shooting and killing, and me in the background talking about this all night long. Like, for me, like, this is like the Super Bowl for me. This, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my element, man. You know what I'm saying? All I need is some headphones, a couple drinks on the side. This is like playing the video games to me. I feel like I'm in the command chair, like just watching the game. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in the video games, but I sure know now what y'all love about them. I see what y'all love about them. That's what it feel like right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So with that, man, we see y'all Monday night, man. We're going to do it up live on Monday night again. Come back in it, man. Join us also every Saturday night right here at 9 p.m. We do it up live, man, in this brotherhood and sisterhood. And again, Monday, we'll be back up in the building doing it again live again with the heavy hitters. The generals will be up in there with us, and we'll be calling it play-by-play, man. It was a pleasure to be up in here with y'all, man. And we'll see y'all next time. Pay your tithes, y'all. Go to ISUPK.com. Support this truth. Pay your tithes as usual, man. Join us at the Passover, April 14th, 15th, and 16th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I know it's a little tough trek to Florida, but come on down. Let's get it on, man. Let's do the Passover, man. Let's renew our oath to the Most High as he brings war down on the earth. Let's show him we are prepared to serve him, man, and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments for the best of our people, to feed them, clothe them, to educate them, to renew them back to the Most High. I'll see y'all next time, y'all, live on this Black Watch channel, y'all. And to water to all the brothers that was in here with me tonight, man. Big shout out to all the captains and officers, Captain Gadal, Captain Mashak, Captain Nato, Captain I.S.U.P.K, Captain Kahan Thumb Yard. All the big captains was in here tonight. Big shout out to y'all, man, to water for coming through, man. All right, y'all, we are out of here finally. All right, shalom. Shalom, y'all.
Want no cowards in our camp, while the let their colors fly.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Counter all your dishes, pots, and forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment, you know, and a hotel room. You know what I mean? This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.